All right. Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to My Taste in Music Sucks, the podcast where every single week myself and Mr. Christopher Icon sit down. We talk about music that we don't necessarily think sucks. And this week, we are being joined by someone who is a dear, dear old friend of mine.
Chat GPT.
No, I haven't known ChatGPT that long. I've known Kevin for 30 years probably.
Oh
More
wow.
than that.
Somewhere, yeah, somewhere in
It's
that
it's
area.
yeah, about 30, I guess.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the
Since
mid 90s. The
since
90s
the
are
mid
all a blur though.
90s.
I gotta be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah. But yeah, Mr. Kevin Olmsted will be joining us to lend some of his expertise. He's got
Is
a
that what you're calling it now?
background in, yeah, yeah, man. It's expertise, man. That's what you're bringing to this thing.
Oh, okay.
And this week we listened to Goodbye on Monday by Phoenix on the Fault Line, who are a nine-piece, kind of hard to categorize band from Indianapolis, Indiana. Um,
We're a nine piece. I'm pretty sure they've since split up, and
okay.
which is too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it was a really interesting listen, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know. I After I got through it, I thought maybe I should have picked one of their later albums just so you guys could hear how the sounds really gelled and really came out. Because there's some times on this album where the horns just they aren't turned up enough, if you
right.
know what I mean. And later on, their last I guess it'd be their last two albums, they definitely figured out their mix and everything.
I will say this that this was the correct album to choose because I had never heard of this band,
Hmm.
but I gave it a listen. I actually listened to it twice before we came on here. And this is a band I'm gonna look up some of their other stuff. This was a good band.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
that was a good album to introduce the band.
And this one's not quite as thematic. I think that's the word, is the other two. The other two are more concept albums. One's like a zombie kind of apocalypse thing. And
I
then
noticed that
yeah.
they have that going on.
Yeah, it's a fun band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I was having a little bit of a hard time picking out lyrics.
Mm,
So, and of course, Spotify didn't want to give me any.
Spotify
Of course not.
sucks.
I actually listened on YouTube, by the way.
Oh,
So
nice.
if they mixed up if their set order is indifferent between the different services, I might have listened to a different set of songs. But
Yeah. Well, here's
You could
hoping.
always go ahead, Keith.
I was like, here's hoping that that's not what happened. We've had that happen before, though. Like, we've listened to stuff on YouTube, and we've listened to two different versions,
Hmm.
and then the songs were out of order. It was and then we had to kind of flip them around and figure it out where everything went. But
It adds a little something to it, a little something different.
yeah. But do you guys want to jump into the first track?
Yeah,
let's have it.
absolutely.
All right.
Who
So the
wants to go
title
first?
track. Whoever wants to go, man, go for it.
Okay. I'd already heard most of this album. This title track, Goodbye on Monday, is probably one of my favorite songs by
Mhm.
this group. Um, my notes basically, I just talked about how the horns add like this really rich touch to it. They're not overbearing, they're not too loud. And man, I really like the lyrics. I was kind of actually, I'll ask that question in a minute. There's a really, really cool breakdown. I hope you guys caught right about 3 minutes in. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it. When you think breakdown, you think maybe a traditional metal breakdown, but with
Mhm.
the horns and the tone of the guitar, it was just like a really unique kind of, man, I don't even know what to call.
Like a harmonic.
Yeah, it's just a
I noticed that throughout the whole album, actually.
yeah, and the way he plays guitar isn't I wouldn't call it traditional, like, note for note. It's definitely got like almost what's that surfer style of music called?
Surf.
Surf. And I
Yeah.
thought that was really neat. Um, it's just a good introduction for the band. My question for you guys once you get through it is, what's he saying goodbye to?
You know what? I kind of listened to the sound itself rather than trying to get into the lyrics and everything.
Okay.
So I didn't really take notes on the lyrics. I was listening more for the instrumentation
Yeah.
and how they played well together.
Hmm.
First thing I noticed when I first listened was, like I said earlier, um, this sounded, it definitely had a ska influence, definitely had some new metal influence. My first thought was that this sounded like it could have been on a Madden soundtrack. Like I'm playing football, and you know how it. I don't know if you ever play Madden
Yeah.
back in the day, but they have music that you can listen to while you're doing your play selection and whatnot.
Right.
Um, that sounded like one of the alt rock types of songs that they would have played.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and like I said, I had a hard time picking out the lyrics, unfortunately. Um, I basically just focused on the sound of it too, but it was weird because the whole time, I mean, you know how I am, I kind of try to grab onto stuff like this sounds sort of like something else. Um,
Right.
and there are other bands who combine elements of post-hardcore and hardcore with ska, but I
Hmm.
don't think there's any that really do it the way that this band does. So I
Right.
had a hard time even like thinking about, okay, this sounds like such and such because I just couldn't even find anybody to reference other than the vocals sounding a little bit like I've heard vocalists like him before, um,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Right.
But
Like I agree with you. I couldn't pick out a band, but I have heard something like this before.
yeah,
Um, it's not another ska band. I mean, they all have their own sounds too, but it definitely was different from that. Um,
Well, ska has that more like up really upbeat kind of marchy kind of yay, you know what I
right,
mean, sound to it.
right, and this definitely had the rock influence.
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, yeah. I mean, so as far as notes, I mean, I said it had a nice use of horns.
Hmm.
Right away you notice that, and then I put post-hardcore ska with a question mark.
Mhm.
And then-
I assume we're going in order of tracks, in
yeah,
Yeah.
which case I do have a note regarding that I'll just bring up later.
sure.
Okay.
And then yeah, I did notice the big noisy breakdown.
Mhm.
I
So
liked it. Well,
yeah.
obviously I've heard it before, but sitting down with it this time around and trying to place it, or like you said, to hear some influences, this first song, you really don't. It sounds like it fits in the mid 2000s, but if you listen to it just a little bit closer, you'll hear the horns and it's like, oh, that's really neat what they're doing over there. And then the guitar, his tone is kind of light and airy. I thought that was really neat too.
Yeah. Yeah, and you get a little bit of that in some of the other songs too, like the guitar tones
Yep.
um just being kind of shiny.
That's a good word for it,
Good
shiny.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, what do you guys think in track number two? I have it's Fighting You in case
that's what I
Kevin.
have too.
All right,
Yep.
cool.
I kind of got more of the same from that. It wasn't bad. Wasn't
Right.
bad. It just sounded like a continuation of, Goodbye on Monday.
Right. I wasn't a big fan of this song either. It's like faster and got that more punk energy.
Right, right,
And
right, right, right.
I thought maybe it did him just a little bit of a disservice because with that punk energy, the notes and stuff are just coming at you and it doesn't really give you time to like hear what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I said it was intense and high energy, and that I did think it had a cool melody line that it
Mm.
maintained throughout the song.
Yeah, they really do some interesting things with, at least musically, with melody. The way it kind of, I don't know if waves is the right word for it, how it just kind of
Mhm.
moves in and out.
They
Yeah.
actually had some decent vocal harmonies too,
Mhm.
Yeah. I know
which I
so.
kind of didn't expect, but sounded good.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
probably one of those songs that you need to see live. It's probably like a good middle of the set type thing, keep everybody moving. Let's go. Let's get.
I have a feeling this is that type of band that
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
they may not translate well to a recording from a studio, but when you see them live, they're amazing.
Especially this first album, because they might not know exactly who they are yet. And like I said earlier in the intro, the later albums, you really get to hear them, each of them, even the horns, find their own space within the song. And
Mhm.
on debut albums, that's a little harder to do.
Yeah, for sure.
All righty. But moving right on. How about song three, Reckoning?
Reckoning.
That was a bit of a change of pace.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
liked that. It's considerably slower than the
Hmm.
punk rock version, punk rock song. Um, it was all right. I liked it.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be more of a traditional ska song when it
Hmm.
started. It sounded kind of like ska reggae, but then they kind of mixed it in with more of a rock sound to it. So,
Mhm.
I liked the start. It was a nice slow. I was thinking, oh, maybe this is going to be what they would consider a ballad, even though
right.
that might be what Goodbye on Monday was. Um, what I pulled out of this song was a line that I thought was really powerful. He said, I am the reckoning divine. And I
Mhm.
just think that's a powerful line because you could take it as, being the reckoning means I'm the judgment, I'm the power, the be all, but adding divine to the end of that makes it like, I don't know, to me, that's just a powerful line. It's got good imagery. It's good
Mhm.
wordplay. I've said many, many times on the show, I love good wordplay.
Yeah, definitely.
And I stole it. That'll be the thing I'll slap online to promote this
Nice.
particular show.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice.
So, do you have broken arms in the cleanup spot?
Yep.
We do. Yeah.
Okay.
Another really good song. Let me
That's a
preface before we
good
get
spot
into
for that.
this.
Go
I
ahead.
know what this song is, or at least why it was written. I think I read it online, or maybe the singer told me in a correspondence. I was telling Keith that the singer broke his arms when he was younger,
Mhm.
so he was in a cast. So that's why this is a big imaginative song. You know what I mean? Because he's going through all these different scenarios in his head. I don't know if you guys caught that in the lyrics. It's like he's definitely talking about like a big battle, but it's like on
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
distant planet. And I just thought that was a really neat, that added a neat little texture to the song.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
I was gonna say the cleanup spot is perfect for this song because they knocked it out of the park. This is
Mhm.
probably the best song on that album.
Why do you call it the
Um,
cleanup spot?
and I
Tasteful.
also want to give props. It's hard to find information about this band because, like you say, it was a local band. They were around for a few years and then they're gone. I was able to locate the bass player is a guy named Nate Gray, and I want to
Hmm.
give him his props because that breakdown in this song is just amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, well placed. It really pops, like you were saying.
Yeah, I put that in there too. I said there was cool bass work all throughout, that
There
they're,
was, and he
yeah,
he did a great job. Guy named Nate Gray, so look him up, Google
cool.
him.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I've listened to this song and made me think of how important, and Keith and I have talked about this before, how important imagination is, not just for um, enjoying music, but for all of life. And he's kind of talking about dreams, which are also super important. So that just kind of brought me into that idea, or into that headspace, and made me kind of wonder since I knew Kevin was going to be joining us, what his influences were and what your maybe favorite genres or styles are.
Um, little of everything. Obviously, when I was little, I listened to whatever the pop music was at the time, rock music and whatever. As I became a snotty teenager, I got it more into punk rock and that sort of thing, and probably carried that a little further into my 20s and 30s than I probably should have. But um, and I like a little bit of everything. Everybody says that, but I can actually back it up.
Right. What kind of like childhood did you have? You know, Keith and I have talked about ours extensively and how it plays into the
Uh,
music we
well,
like.
Keith grew up in Ithaca. I grew up in Elmira, which is a similar city,
Mhm.
Yeah.
not far away. I actually never met Keith till we were both in our 20s, but probably a very similar upbringing to Keith's. It, you know, s- Small town, upstate New York, running around getting into trouble.
Hmm.
Not like outrageous trouble where we're going to reform school or anything, but just trouble around town.
Like a latchkey kid.
Well, we're Gen X, so naturally.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
when I talk
That's
to
how it goes.
younger people now, I say that term and like I was a latchkey kid, and they're always like, "What?" It's like, I don't know, man. I got off of school, or if we didn't have school that day, I just left the house. And
Well, between summer before my junior year, I was trying to stay in shape for football.
mm,
I used to bike from I grew up Elmira Heights, New York, so like I say, not far from where Keith grew up. I used to bike from there to the Pennsylvania state line in Wellsburg, which was I want to say about 10 miles one way and
mhm.
back every day.
With a
Just with
Discman, or
headphones on, yeah.
what kind of things
And
would you
just
be listening to when you were biking?
the pop music of the time. I listened to actually that would have been 87, so a lot of Van Halen, a lot of Sammy Hagar,
Yeah.
In Excess, some things like that.
That makes sense.
Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. I think I might have discovered Anthrax by then.
You don't have any like when you say biking like that, for me, I could music is such a soundtrack of life, right? I can
Mm,
in my head vision like plain as day riding my bike listening to the Crow soundtrack on
okay.
probably Discman to go to this girl's house.
Hmm.
So you don't have any stories like that that kind of relate, or
Um, I actually didn't have any game till I got to college.
I didn't say I
So,
had game. Let's not get confused.
but I actually worked in radio before I got out of high school.
Oh, nice.
So that went right to my head. So I thought I had game. It was one of those types of deals. Um, but yeah, I remember sneaking out to go see one particular girl, and geez, I was basically Stan Marsh, so
Nice.
from South
Nice.
Park.
See, Keith
Uh,
was me and Keith are total opposites. I was the
yeah.
emo kid before emo was a thing. You know, I have my have my own, mental issues like everybody else. So I
Hmm.
was more like, oh, she's not gonna like me, or I wasn't super flirty or open or anything like that. Where I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Keith, you were the
Yeah.
opposite. You were like, I'm the life of the party. Let's do this. I'm
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kevin met me 90,
5, 6, somewhere in there.
yeah, somewhere in there. So I was still in my 20s,
mm,
and I mean, he could attest to the leather pants and the shiny shirts and all that kind of
Double
stuff.
SKP, right?
Yeah.
what about you, Kevin? What were you wearing in the 90s like that?
So
Um,
not
about what I'm
that.
wearing now, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. Not
Jeans,
shiny
t-shirt,
shirts, leather pants.
done.
I was full blown grunge kid, full blown. I mean, I had the they were yellowish, weren't they? The work boots. I
Hmm.
had
Oh yeah.
those, even though I didn't have a construction job. Why the hell do I have work boots? The flannel tied around my waist.
Caterpillar.
Um, Brahma, maybe?
Oh, I own stock in Caterpillar, so go for that.
That's funny. Three completely different what personality types, I guess.
Yeah.
We had
Well,
that
when
same
grunge
Yeah,
thing.
was,
I mentioned punk rock. I've actually never had a mohawk. My friends did.
yeah,
I never did. I never
Um,
got
when,
into that look.
I
yeah.
was much older when I finally got a mohawk.
When grunge was like the thing, though, I mean, I had a pair of combat boots that a buddy of mine picked up for me at the local military surplus store, and I wore, you know, flannels and band shirts and shorts even when it was freezing outside.
That's Ithaca.
Yeah. So
For me,
so
96 would have been Shelbyville. I had already moved up there by then, so the
I'll say
contrast
this for Ithaca too. We grew up in a really cool place
yeah,
because you had bands like the Bosstones and Murphy's Law, and they were coming in and playing Max's or the Haunt like
right,
every
right,
couple of weeks.
right.
well, we
We had some really
um,
cool bands.
Keith and
Yeah.
I have talked about it, and I've talked about it. I used to go up to the Emerson, gosh, almost all the time in the early 2000s. That's what my group of friends did. We just went up and saw like Big MF Stick and Dent and some other bands that you guys have probably never heard of, except where I know Keith has heard Big
Big
MF
M much
Stick.
six. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's it seems to be just what our generation, even though I'm a little bit younger than you, that's what we did. We weren't out. Okay, we were probably drinking and maybe
Oh, we
drugging
were
a
definitely
little
drinking.
more than we should
We
have
were
been,
definitely
Definitely.
drinking.
but it wasn't, we weren't getting in trouble, like
Uh,
real trouble. We were just going
No, we were
sneaking
getting
off
in
the
trouble
top.
too,
Fair enough.
but not real trouble. Not no. I know what you're saying. I know
I
what
think
you're
I'm
saying.
just old. I think this is the part in the show where I'm just going to say, get off my lawn. And
I think it's what 35 years later now. I
yeah.
think I can get away with saying we used to go like before we'd go out on Friday nights, we'd go have dinner at Pizza Hut in Watkins Glen, New York, because we
Right.
could get served there.
Nice.
So we
Nice.
our pizza would be dinner, and then we'd have a pitcher of beer with it, and
Yeah.
that would be how we get started.
Yeah.
yep.
And I used to drink at the haunt because I knew some of the bouncers
Mm.
and they would just, give me alcohol on occasion when I was
I
there checking
didn't
out bands.
didn't drink too much before I turned 21. I do have a funny story. Way back in the day, me and DC had some friends that played D&D. So we go over there and we're hanging out and they had a big thing of vodka and I'm young and stupid. So I drank a lot of
That's a
vodka.
great drinking game. It's an underrated drinking game.
Sure,
Dungeons and
You
if
got a
Dragons.
you
lot
can
of
hold your alcohol. I ended up with blood alcohol poisoning, crashed
ooh,
out on DC's dad's couch because he knew what was up. DC's dad was awesome. He's gone now, unfortunately. He knew what was up, and instead of being, an overbearing parent, he was just like, "Oh, you fucked up, boy. Yeah, it's gonna suck for you, but you know what? Just stay here for the few weeks, for the week or whatever, and we won't bother to tell your parents." So I go to DC's family reunion, hung over as shit.
Oh man.
Ugh, brutal.
Keith,
So
did you ever know Dave DiGiacomo?
me.
Keith,
Dave the Giacomo.
Dave
I'm not sure.
DiGiacomo.
I'm
He was
not
from
sure.
Ithaca. But he used to hang out with us. I think I was in sophomore in college when
Okay.
because I had played D&D in junior high, and then
Yeah.
of course you grow out of it. But then as a sophomore in college, we kind of got back into it again as a drinking game,
Okay.
and he used to play with us because he was into all that stuff. He
Right.
ended up getting married a proper druid wedding. Like we went out, they set up like the stones in a circle
Oh
with the
wow.
opening to the west and the altar in the middle, and they did a proper druid wedding.
Hmm.
Man,
Um, he took her name, the whole 9 yards. We have not seen him since then.
Took
that's
her
wild.
name.
He just like dropped off the face of the earth. They got married, they did their thing, and now I guess that was part of the Druid thing. He's
You
not been in
go
touch
be a
with any
druid.
of us since then. I don't know if you ever knew him.
I don't know if I did or not, to be honest, but that's an
He
interesting
was
story.
very goth and very into like the D&D stuff.
Probably
Okay.
built a hovel in the woods and like if I don't know. I don't know enough about druids to make a joke there. So
Well, it's a
maybe
matrilineal society, so everything comes down through the women. And he took her name, and we just never heard from him again after that.
That
that
is
doesn't surprise
wild.
me. I
It
was
it
just
was. I kind of wonder what he's up to.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, man.
I was actually talking about this phenomenon. You said they took everything from the women with my mom, who's a very, I mean, she's a Christian, but the
Hmm.
example of what they should be. And I was
Hmm.
talking about, they've changed so much of the Bible. And this book I'm listening to is talking about the female energy and stuff that
Hmm.
used to be in the Bible. And they kind of took all of that out to make it more male dominant. And she was just like, oh, really? It's like, yeah, especially way back then, women were treated for the most part like they should be, either as a
Hmm.
complete equal or, as I've said several times on this show, I don't see women as an equal. They're better. They have all the things I want to touch.
Of course, right on.
And I two strong mothers, to me, there's no battle of the sexes. Women won that shit years ago. So it
Well,
doesn't
here's the other
surprise
thing
me.
about that. You are correct, at least based on what I've read. Um, at some point, when the Christian church um, overtook England,
Hmm.
well, that was all Celts up there at that time, and that was literally Druid society.
Yep, yep.
That's when all that Virgin Mary stuff came back, and they
Hmm.
put it back into the Bible.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Because one thing they're very good at is they call it syncretism.
Hmm.
When you're trying to get yourself into a society, you find elements of that society that pertain, and then you kind of play that up,
Right, right.
and it gets them so that they're still doing their usual traditions, but now it's kind of part of the Christian tradition too.
Yeah, they
And
kind of co-opted like Christmas and
their
Easter.
Christmas is a good example. They're very good at that.
Yeah, that could be for me, that could be a whole different podcast. I've studied a
It
lot.
really could. It really could.
All right, we'll rein it back in here. I have song 5. It's called Sending in Progress. Is that
Yes.
where, for me, it's a well-constructed song. Like
Mhm.
it just shows off the um, skill of each of the players. Now, the vocal choice to me at first was a little, I was like, why is he doing this instead of singing? But then
Right, it's a spoken word part, yeah.
once the song ended, I was like, oh, I get it. It's because it fit better for the song to speak
Mhm.
it instead of sing it. And I thought, oh, that's a super cool trick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where were
Yeah.
you guys at with it? What did you pick up on?
I didn't have any particular notes for that song. I mean, it was okay. I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't dislike any of the songs. It's just that one didn't jump out at me.
Right,
I
right.
thought the drum parts were kind of crazy in it.
Mm.
Mm.
The drums were kind of all over the place in that song. It was interesting.
Yeah, with that kind of frantic, almost scattered
Yes.
energy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where were you at? Well, you kind of rushed it, didn't you? I was going to ask where you were at with Headspace for this album because again, there's no negativity on it, which is where we've been trying to stay lately.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I didn't really rush it, but I kind of had to listen to it in pieces because of what was going on,
Right.
where I was at. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just for me, like I said, I had a hard time hearing lyrics.
Hmm.
So I was really just listening to what was happening, like all the
Right.
different sounds. And it's a really interesting combination. And it's stuff that you're familiar with, but you don't always hear put together.
Oh,
That's how it
actually,
seemed like to me.
yeah, that makes sense. And that's why the album, like we've been trying to get at, doesn't sound like any one thing. And that's not a knock on the band at all. It just, it sounds like maybe like a encapsulation of the era. It's like,
Right.
oh, okay, yeah, I kind of get what's going on here, even though it's with the horns instead of what you would think of like as traditional crunchy guitar or anything like that.
Right. When was this, like '04?
I wrote it down. I
It
think
was
oh
08,
nine.
8,
Oh, was
9,
that
somewhere in there.
late? Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2009.
Interesting.
But again, a debut album. I wish I knew a little bit more, like how long were they together when they put this together? Because how do you get nine people on the same page? I know Slipknot's done it, but they're kind of the
Yeah.
exception to the rule.
You can do that with like I say, they had a ska influence, so they probably had that element coming. Those ska bands, they can be 8, 9 members,
Right.
Oh yeah,
especially
the
with the horn
Boss
section,
Tones. 'The Boss Tones had like 30 people in their band. One of them was a dancer.
One guy who did nothing but
Yeah.
dance,
Yeah.
You have 30 people in your band and you can't make good music?
Hey, whoa, hold on.
No, you never saw them live.
I did. It was very.
I saw them live like a dozen times. I saw them crash a stage, literally the stage pancaked.
I
That's awesome.
probably I'd have to sit down and remember. I think maybe I've seen them live. I've seen a bunch of those like package tours, especially I mean, I remember the bigger ones, Ozfest, the Lollapalooza I saw, but there were a bunch of those back in the day. I'm sure I've been to a Warped tour and then uh
Their
radio.
best shows ever were with Murphy's Law. They were never
Yeah.
not the Warp Tour, none of that stuff. I mean, just like a dive bar, the
Mhm.
Haunt, Max's, whatever, um, with Murphy's Law. Sometimes Murphy's was the headliner, sometimes the Bosstones were the headliner, but they were always great shows.
I
Yeah.
love a good small uh venue like Bogarts. I've seen quite a few bands there. It's just I don't know if it's better for the listener because we're all right there, so we're kind of sharing each other's energy, and that in
Mhm.
turn makes the band sound better, or if it's because a lot of these bands, you have to be good live, especially
Mhm.
like
Right.
in '09 and stuff. That was before you would get like Hinder or Seether. They get like one radio song, and then when you hear them live, it's like, oh, well, this isn't that great. That's
Mhm.
that's how bands should and for sure used to cut their teeth. So when you see them in these small venues like the Emerson, probably like the same ones you mentioned, it's just a better experience.
Mhm.
Yeah. I saw the Boss Tones at Max's with Shooty's Groove.
Oh, they were great. I
Yeah,
love
that was a
Shooty's
fun
Groove.
time. And it was the first time I ever stage dived. So, because the Bosstones were very welcoming with their stage. Like, if you could get
Yes.
up there, you can get up there. And
Yep.
so yeah, it was a good time, man.
The other thing they were cool about, and Murphy's too, um, when they were done with their set, whoever was opening, they'd come out and watch the other band with you.
Yeah,
Like you'd be standing
yeah,
next to Dickie Barrett watching Murphy's Law, you
Yeah,
know?
that's how I think we talked about it, Keith, probably. That's how Big MF Stick were. They would be like, all right, we're just gonna jam. And they'd be like, all right, you rap some lines. And it was just more intimate. It was a little bit closer. It was, the musicians, they treated everybody like their friend, or like you guys said, they would come and hang out.
yeah.
Mhm.
That was
Earth
actually
Crisis
my
was like that too.
yeah. That was my first stage diving experience was with Big MF Stick and my buddy
Nice.
Marcus. His this is not funny, but it is. His first stage diving experience, I don't know if the people dropped him or if they moved. So he head planted, and then we had to sit up
Ooh,
with him all night because, concussions.
Concussions,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. God,
Ugh.
different kind of energy. Now I'm just old.
Yeah. Got to make sure you get all the way over on a sunset flip.
Absolutely.
Right.
And land correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've unfortunately
I'll tell you
landed
what,
one.
wrestling training is good for that. If you're out in the winter sometime and you slip on ice, it's good to be able to take that bump.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
no doubt.
How long did you work, or did you work, Kevin?
Um, well, I'm actually coming up on my 30th anniversary, if you can believe that.
Right.
Because I can't, I don't have the talent to be able to last 30 years, but um, started with radio. I worked at WCBA Corning, New York, and we
Mhm.
put on a wrestling show with the USWF
Okay.
as like a promotion.
The
And
actual. Oh, I'm thinking
pardon?
USWA. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, you're thinking of Memphis.
Mhm.
This is the USWF. It was upstate New York.
Okay.
Bob Bailey was a promoter, and I have to give him his props because without him, none of this would have happened.
Right.
Um,
But Bob had connections with WWE and like had a pretty well run school and stuff. It wasn't like some
he did.
yeah.
He did. I actually my training was kind of piecemeal.
Mhm.
Like I started with Ironheart Todd Costner, and then he went away, whatever reason, it became HC Loke, and then he started working for ECW. So I ended up going with Hellcat and the All Nighters, and so I trained with a bunch of guys,
Right.
basically like that. Before I started actually, working on shows.
How long did you work
Um,
in the ring?
I did. I was never a good wrestler.
Me neither. Don't worry about it.
I did better as a manager, and I actually got out of it after probably 10 years ago. Um, Keith actually kind of brought me out of retirement when he was putting on a show out in Indiana. I came out first, managed Apollo, which a friend of both of ours from Ithaca, and
Oh yeah, yeah,
then
yeah. I know
and then I
Apollo is.
came back for another show and was a ref, and I've been refing ever since then.
Yeah.
Was what show would these have been, Keith?
So the first you remember the shows that I did with Vinny Ratlock?
No,
Okay, well I did a couple shows with Vinny Ratlock
I'm sorry.
and it's okay. And it was funny
We all have those
because
stories.
yeah, because I told Q, I said, "Hey man, Vinny really wants to manage you tonight." And he was like,
Oh, he didn't know?
"No, no, 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 no." But when I said Vinny, he thought I was talking about Vinny Ratlock. And Q was like,
Oh,
"No."
okay.
Remember because I had you hide around the car, remember?
Right. Right.
And
I
and
remembered that, but
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know
well
that.
that was why. And
Okay.
he was
Okay.
like, "Tell him no."
So this was before I worked for you then.
It was kind of in the middle. It was when it was during COVID.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I remember the one show was like in somebody's barn.
yeah, yeah, that's the one where you managed Q. But anyway, I pulled Kevin out and I was like, "So dude, it's not cool if Vinny manages you." And he's like, "Oh shit, Kevin." And yeah.
I was
And
just
then
curious if Kevin
but
and I
then
had crossed paths is all.
but then no, but the couple shows where he came down and refed for me, you did commentary on those shows.
My memory sucks.
Yeah, those were the later shows in the YMCA.
There in uh Connersville.
Connorsville, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Connersville, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we'd come across each other. You know how those shows can be. It's, oh, hey man, I'm so and so. Hey man, I'm so and so. Hey,
Exactly.
good to see
Exactly.
you
I
again.
Like I'll work for Asylum Pro Wrestling now, and they'll bring in somebody that I worked with years ago and I forgot, you know.
right.
Um, and I'll introduce myself and they'll be like, I met you 3 years ago. I'm like, man, I'm sorry. When you get some experience, you're gonna understand, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I remember the first time Kevin came in to help out to ref, I I said the little bit of training that I ever got was from this guy. So he's the one you blame for me.
Thanks, man.
And everyone was like, "Oh,
You know,
laughed.
um, you want to tell them about the time I almost got my ass kicked because of that?
I don't remember that. Oh, at,
Yeah,
at
with
uh
NMW.
at NMW when they were like, you're not supposed to be training people. Is that what
Yeah,
you're talking
and I
about?
like told these guys, like, hey, look, I can show you some stuff, but I am not your trainer. Do
Yeah,
not tell people I'm your trainer. And the
Right.
reason is because I was green myself. I had
Mhm.
to
right,
this, and even now, I still don't think I'm qualified to train people.
right,
Because there are guys, HC Lokes out there, he can train people.
Right.
Uh, Hellcat's out there, he can train people. I can't train
right,
anybody.
right.
Um,
So we were like going around introducing ourselves to people, and they were like, so you guys learning the business, what's going on, and Q was like, yeah, we're training with Vinny, and they were like, Vinny who? And I said, Vinny Ferrari, and and then after we walked away, we told Armand Tortuga that actually was what it was. We were at like a Burger King getting some food.
and he's a good dude, but
Yeah,
he let me know about
Armand Tortuga was there, and he asked us who was training us, and we told him. And then Q was like, "Yo, man, I don't think we should tell people Vinny's training us." And I was like,
it.
I was
I
like,
got lucky.
It's all good.
yeah.
Oman, I think he lives in Georgia now.
Oh wow, nice.
But yeah, he's a good dude. But yeah,
Yeah,
he definitely let me know about that.
yeah.
Kevin, did you know the Van Zants, Tom and Troy?
No, he
I do not.
Okay. That's who I trained with. We all trained together, and those guys took to it like fucking, however you want to word that, ducks to water, whatever. So I kind of got lucky that they were so good for the level they were at. All they had
Mhm,
to do was say, "Hey, he's with us," and
mhm.
they'd say the same thing every time. He will bump his ass off, and he will make the other guy look good.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's all I knew how to do as a heel, right?
The cool thing was we were there with Don Adams that night, and they gave us some time to get in the ring and work on some stuff.
Mhm.
And personally, I thought I did really, really badly. I've never been all that athletic. Um, but I talked to Q, and Q was like, "Nah, man, I think we just looked like a couple dudes who were training. Everything's fine." And I was like,
Mhm.
"Right on."
Mhm.
Could you walk and
So
talk, Kevin, or did you need to
Pardon?
call your spots?
Pardon?
Can you walk and talk, or did you have to call your spots?
Depending on who you're working with, because some guys want to have everything planned out, and some guys just want to call it on the fly.
Yeah, we were
And I
taught
was so
to.
green, I couldn't call anything myself, so I just went along with whatever.
Yeah, that's how
Um,
we trained too, was reactive. That's why I was so
mhm.
good at bumping
And I
because
and I still do that to this day. I kind of treat refing as it's almost like an improv thing.
Mhm.
I basically yes and the whole way through a match.
Yep.
Um, that the guys will be doing their thing, and I'll just react to whatever they're doing. Obviously, it's 2026. I guess I can say I know some things they're going to do.
Right.
um, but for the most part, I'm just reacting to what they're doing.
Makes
Um,
sense. Well, let's drag it back into music. Keith, what was
yeah,
your entrance music?
my entrance music.
Yep.
Well, it was supposed to be UMF
Okay.
by Duran Duran, but I never actually got a chance to use it
Ah.
because I only wrestled one match.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I was not a wrestler anymore.
Kevin?
so I originally had just random Metallica songs just because it was aggressive and
Hmm.
metalish. Um, and I was green, so nobody cared anyway. Uh, to be quite honest, I actually created a gimmick, a mask gimmick called IB Green that played off of that.
Yeah.
The whole
Backyard
background
Superstar.
was that I was a backyard wrestler who beat up little kids on the playground and then found himself among the professionals who just. The idea was if I'm going to take my bumps and pay my
Right.
dues, I'm going to have a gimmick that says I'm going to get my ass kicked by these guys.
Right. Right. That's smart.
Um, so naturally, when they booked the first match, they booked me in a tag team match and put us over. So go figure. And for that gimmick, I used "Being Green," the Kermit the Frog song, which was perfect.
I used the same song. I got to wrestle for a few years, so I put in some time in the ring and some time outside the ring. In the ring, I used the same song the whole time, and I remember going through my music collection, picking it meticulously because of the
Mhm.
way it started, and that was Pantera, "Drag the Waters."
Okay. Cool
That's very,
story regarding entrance music.
yep.
So this was like 98, 99 maybe, USWF. Tony Atlas was on the card.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
I'm in the
Tony
locker room
Anderson.
talking to Tony Atlas because you get a guy like that in the locker room, you gotta
Yep.
talk to him, you gotta learn.
Yep.
And he's got all kinds of stories. So while I'm talking to him, and he's talking about his tag teaming with Rocky Johnson and everything, and all the '80s stuff. The guy with the music is coming around collecting everybody's music.
Right.
So he comes up, asks Tony, and he's like interrupting us. So he's like,
Mm.
"Mr. Atlas, I'm sorry, but I'm collecting music for ring entrance." And Tony just glares at him, just real pissed off, like. And the guy's like, I have Born in the USA. I can play that for you if you want. And Tony's like, if you play Born in the USA, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to take that CD player and I'm going to shove it straight up your ass. I'm scared. I'm like soiling myself because if I have to protect this little guy, I can't protect this little guy against Tony Atlas, And then,
Right.
I mean, this is Tony Atlas kind of still in his prime.
Yeah.
um, and then he got this huge grin on his face. He's like, and hands him a CD and he's like, "Thank you very much, sir." And I just like soiled myself again. It was crazy.
Did you do anything with
Tony
music?
Atlas is a good guy too, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you do anything with music? Both Keith and I have messed around with bands and writing and stuff. Also, did you do any of that?
I pretended I did. I was in a couple of bands, but I was never any good.
Yeah.
Me neither.
I was good.
Fair enough. I
Keith
couldn't
could
cut up my
sing.
own way.
Just my personal opinion. I was good.
Keith
Love
could
it.
sing like David Gates.
Thanks,
I,
man. I appreciate that.
is that the we just listened to him, didn't we? No, that was
No, David Gates is the guy from Bread,
Singer from Bread.
oh shit.
which that's a monster compliment. So thank you.
Awesome. All right.
If
Well,
you're not into the actually, I wouldn't even consider them yacht rock. They're more like singer songwritery from the '70s.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know Brad are. I get all that. I get all that music from my dad growing up. We big music household. I know I've said it a bunch on here, so I'll fly through it. There was six of us growing up. So
Mhm.
you would be upstairs with us kids and maybe hear like Alice in Chains from my room, and then some rap from my brother Brian's room, and then Van Halen from my brother Matt's room, and go down the
Mhm.
hall, and my sister's listening to show tunes. Go downstairs, and depending on who's home, my dad, high as a kite, which, and I don't mean that in a bad way. My dad's an old school stoner, listening
It's
to
all
like
legal now.
CCR and Bread and all of that. Or my stepmother, not high as a kite, and she was the bigger hippie, whatever, would be listening to like Janis Joplin or Big Brother and the Holding Company. So growing up, I have all of that influence.
So you could back it up too then.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to say I'm a music Nazi. I was one of those kids that would find a band and then everything. I have to know everything. I have to know all the lyrics. I have to know who they think in the liner notes so I can look that band up.
Coolest moment. And Keith might know some of these people too.
Yeah.
Spin Doctors.
Yeah.
This was like '93. I was program director at WPIE, I think, in New York,
Mhm.
and played City League softball. There was a lady named, oh geez, now I've lost her last name. Linda's her first name. Um, but she was like the commissioner of the league.
Mhm.
So I knew her. It was all cool. At the same time, Spin Doctors were playing around Ithaca. They were playing the Haunt. They were playing
All the
Max's. They
time.
were playing Cornell. And then they disappeared. And I
Good.
figured it was just like local bands, they break up. That happens. Then, like 6 months later, they're all over the freaking radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, what happened, man? Well, I got that album and I look in the liner notes and there's Linda's name. And they listed like
Gotcha.
all these people from Ithaca are in the liner notes there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
What
I
was
saw
their
the Spin Doctors right before everything happened at the Ben Light Stadium or the Ben Light Gymnasium at Ithaca College.
Okay.
And it was them and the Specials,
Ooh,
and the opening band was the Wallflowers.
Oh,
I missed that one.
Yeah, and it was before the Wallflowers had anything. They were just on the tour, and it was one of the last times the Spin Doctors played Ithaca.
Okay.
Um,
well, if I
because
remember right, Jacob, um, Dylan, right? Is his last name too?
yeah,
Jacob
yeah,
Dylan.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, when they first started, I think all his stuff was he just said Jacob. He wasn't trying, or he wasn't.
He actually tried to distance himself from his dad.
That's exactly
Yes.
what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Yeah.
Even though he wrote a bunch of songs about him and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you don't.
Well,
I would
he
say-
if he was going to make it, he wanted to make it on his own name, not his dad's name.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
right,
Yeah.
and he didn't. That just are they even
They,
still
they
around?
did all right. They had a couple of hits.
Yeah.
Speaking of hits, I was going to bring this up a minute ago. What was Spin Doctor's lead? Was that Two Princes?
No, it was
Little Miss Can't Be Wrong.
Was the first song?
That was the one
Little
that
Miss
broke
Can't Be
him.
Wrong was the first one, and then Two Princes, and then Pocket Full of Kryptonite or whatever.
Yeah,
What was
I
that?
wasn't
Jimmy
a
Olsen's
fan.
Blues, I think it's called.
Jimmy Olsen's Blues, yeah.
Yeah.
Or 40 or 50, depending on. Jimmy Olsen's
They actually
Blues,
had a hit off their second album that was kind of, I don't even remember what it was now.
it was Cleopatra's Cat.
That's right.
I'm a Spin Doctors guy still. But
Yeah, that's. I don't like them.
Yeah.
He had like throat problems, didn't he?
I'm not
Maybe
sure.
in the 90s.
But
Probably
I
a
wouldn't
joke
be
there, but I'm
surprised.
going to let it go.
The singer, he had like cysts in his throat or something.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
That's probably how he got it. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
To be fair,
The views
Again, you
expressed.
never saw them live.
right.
Yeah.
Although I
fair.
will say this, they opened for the Rolling Stones. To see them at the Haunt or Max's, they were
Right.
perfect for that. They're a bar band.
Right.
To
Right.
see them on a big stage opening for the Rolling Stones, that was way too big for them. They couldn't. The stage wasn't big enough for the Rolling Stones, but it was way too big for them.
Yeah.
just
If that
didn't
makes any
dig 'em.
sense.
They didn't. It did nothing for me. I don't know if it's because I was that little grungy emo kid, but I just didn't like them. I don't know
Yeah.
why. It's like a watered down wannabe Black Crows to me. I'm not. That's not what they were at all. But to me,
Right.
it was around the same time. Either probably not Shake Your Money Maker, but
I think Keith and I probably saw them before the Black Crows because, like I say, we saw them around Ithaca.
Yeah. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and that's
So
Yeah.
for us, it probably would have been the other way around.
right.
Right.
Well, they're more pop, and I've said this a whole bunch with, Keith loves power pop. I'm not really a pop guy. That whole bubblegum thing, that whole light, it comes across soulless to me for some reason.
Mhm.
And it is what it is, right? We've listened to some pop now, and as an adult, I'm like, all right, well, I kind of did myself a disservice by not giving some of these bands at least a listen.
Yeah.
Well, if you weren't into it, you weren't into it. That's
Yeah.
all.
I was one of those kids, man. I was like, no, I'm not listening to this. This is sissy
I
girl.
mean,
rock.
I hear people all the time talking about how great the '80s was, and I think most of it sucked.
Oh,
Personally,
man.
I think
I mean,
I've said this
a lot
too.
of it I can listen to, but a lot of it a lot of the songs that were really, really popular in the '80s, and as a DJ, I'll play them,
Right.
but I don't like them.
Yeah.
I never like it when people say insert era here was the best era for music. I'm like, you're a fucking moron. Now it's the best era for music because you've got everything. Everything. If you're a 70s guy, there it is. If you want to be an 80s guy, there it is. 90s, yup. It's
Well, not
all-
only that, all that old music has its influences, and its influence. You listen to like Thundercat now.
Yeah.
Thundercat was influenced by yacht rock, and he's
Thundercat?
actually done a track with Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald.
I'm not familiar.
Thundercat.
Yeah.
He played with Suicidal Tendencies,
Okay.
and he's kind of doing his own like funk thing now. That's got like a lot of young yacht rock influence.
Mm.
Really good. You should go look it up.
He's a bass player.
Yeah.
And he's
You
black.
have to be with a name like that. I mean, come on. What
Yeah.
else are you gonna play?
Another good one is what the hell are they called now? I'm getting old. You have to forgive me.
All good.
Um, Young Gun Silver Fox.
Right, sure.
I've heard that
Uh,
name.
they're straight up yacht rock,
Yeah, they
but
sound
they're
like
a current band that was influenced by all those bands from like the 70s and 80s.
Sounds
yes.
like you really missed out on is it Dan Byrne, Keith?
Yeah. The Marty and the well, I picked Marty and the Bad Punch because I thought that Kevin would love that album.
And it
That
was a
was the
good album.
reason I
It was
picked.
a
Yeah.
like I say when I listened to that, the vibe I got from that was 80s soundtrack,
Oh yeah.
like the Karate Kid Part 4.
Yep.
That was a soundtrack album.
I
Yeah.
said exactly that. Exactly that.
Yeah.
The singer,
Dan
Dan
Byrne.
Byrne,
Yeah.
his album was more my speed. It had some blues influence, but you
Mhm.
probably would have liked that too because there's some Van Halen in there. There's
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
what I call it, instead of White Snake, it was like well-adjusted snake.
Well,
There's big, like big arena swagger kind of stuff in it. It was a really good album.
yeah.
All right, so speaking of albums, we
Yeah,
are on
where are we at right now?
Where are we at?
track
Did we do
six.
Die 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 yet?
Yep.
Oh,
That
Die
was
Die
another good
Die.
track.
Die
Yes.
Die Die is what now?
That was another good track. I mean,
Yeah.
for as aggressive as the title is, I
Mhm.
didn't get any aggression out of it at all.
Yeah.
But it was punchy, um, crisp vocals. It
Mhm.
sounded good.
Yeah.
Right.
I just simply wrote, "This is what ska could be if ska didn't suck."
Oh, now we're doing a Sky album next.
I hate you.
I still like my ska. I still like ska.
It's just
Yeah.
that's just one of those genres I don't like.
Dude, if you
Yeah.
grew up where we grew up,
Mhm.
ska was like, I mean,
Well, we had the Bosstones coming to town every couple of weeks. So
It's a
yeah,
very live oriented.
and then on top of that, you had bands like Mustard Plug and
Right. Bim Scalabim.
Bim Scalabim was good. We had the Pie Tasters coming around. You know,
Yeah. I saw the Blue Meanies,
Mhm.
they were good.
Skank and Pickle.
Mephistopheles, remember them?
Oh yeah, I saw Mephistopheles too. Yeah.
And
I
this
saw
would
them
be
play with John Brown's Body, I think it was. It was either
That was
John
another-
Brown's
The
Body
90s?
or the
You want to know? Here's a fun one. This was around 2006, I guess. My brother is friends with some of the guys from Guar,
oh
Sure.
nice.
so we went down to Pittsburgh, and there was this former church there, It's Mr. Small's Music Hall, I think they call it. It's a former church
Okay.
that they basically retrofitted into a concert hall.
I bet the sound is phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. But the best part was because my brother is friends with the guys from Guar, and it was their show. They brought us backstage. We got to see the whole maze of hoses and everything else. It was amazing.
Oh, jeez, that's cool.
But one of the things I remember about that show, this was like 2006 or 7. They had a poster up as you walked in with with the various bands that are going to be playing there. One of them was Donna the Buffalo.
Nice.
You remember them?
Yeah, of course.
I never realized they left Ithaca.
Oh yeah, Down to the Buffalo got kind of big. Like,
Yeah. But it was like I hadn't seen Donna the Buffalo in like 10 years, and then
right.
I see their poster in Pittsburgh at a
Right.
Guar show.
I think they still might be making music.
They are. I saw them they did a video a couple of years ago.
It's wild, man.
So,
Guar
yeah.
were a cool band. I think I've told Keith this, but one of the bands that came through, I don't remember where they were from. The Emerson, when we were going all the time, was called the Porn Flakes, and they had a very Guar essence, big costumes, and all porn and cereal related. So they were like throwing out boxes of cereal all over everybody, and it was that very costumey, kind of showy.
Yeah.
Music was a little. It was what it was. I'm not trying
That was
to
the thing for a while, though. I mean,
Yeah,
you go back late 90s, early 2000s, there was a lot of that going on. You go to a Bare Naked Ladies concert and throw macaroni and cheese at them, There's a lot of that stuff going on.
It was metal up here, but I
They
think
don't appreciate that, by the way.
The macaroni and cheese.
They didn't like that at all.
I don't
Yeah.
appreciate them. So,
That's another band. They were good live.
oh, I bet. And a lot of these bands are probably fantastic bands. I'm just saying that I wasn't getting into them. Now, I do kind of like that one song is really catchy where he does the fast delivery and
Chicken to China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your
Yeah, I
brain
think
starts kicking.
that's one night or
That's
1 week, right?
1 week, yeah.
but
Pinch Me is a good
again,
song too.
our local scene was different up here. We had like the Y Store, which are were a more poppy kind of rock band, or we had
Yes.
like metal. A lot of rapcore was going on. Like he
Hmm.
heard Big MF Stick. My buddy Marcus was in a band, Chicago Seven. They had like three. Actually, they only had two singer guys and some other things going on. There was
Okay.
a kind of funny lyric band that were kind of rapcore named Sucka. And then, a lot of that metal was coming through. Like, I think new metal was really popular. So you heard a lot of bands coming through that sounded like that, which was cool and fun. Plus, you'd get to hear, like Mudvayne would come through before
Hmm.
they put on the face paint and change their timing signatures and everything. They were more like, a corn style band. So you'd get to
Yes.
Hmm.
see bands like that and Clutch and
See that's where I think you've run into my version of I didn't see them live, so maybe I don't appreciate them as much. About the only new metal band I actually like is System of a Down.
it,
Like the only straight new metal band that I actually like is System of a Down.
they're one of the worst live bands I have ever seen. And
Really?
I'm not talking
I
about
love their
because of
sound though.
my taste in music. Well, actually, you know what? I've seen them twice. The first time, garbage. Oh, it was terrible. And then I saw them with Eminem of all people, and they were phenomenal. So,
Mhm.
but I've got the
What I
same
like
story about the
about them
Deftones.
is they mess around with time signatures, which will
Mm.
always catch me.
Yeah, yeah.
And then also they're not dealing with like major minor like most bands are, or even modal. They're going into like Middle Eastern type
Yeah, yeah.
scales and playing in that. And that catches my ear. I
Yeah,
mean,
Yeah.
they were really like unique kind of,
they
especially when
really
they
were.
first their first album. I remember it had a hand with like an eye on the cover of it.
Right.
And when that came out, of course I didn't know about bands like is it Glassjaw, Keith?
Yeah.
There were bands like that out there, Glassjaw, Dillinger
Mhm.
Escape Plan. I didn't know about
Dillinger's is
those.
good too.
What?
Yeah.
Dillinger's is a good band too.
I
Yeah.
actually prefer when they got the new singer,
Mhm.
Greg. He put out a solo album not too long ago. It's actually really good. And it's gonna escape me. So when System of a Down dropped that first album, I hadn't heard Dillinger as much. I didn't know about Mr. Bungle or any of that kind of noise core, whatever you want to call it. So
Mhm.
hearing System of a Down, I was just like, it's too disjointed. It's too, you know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know if it's because
Mhm.
I wanted rock, I want metal, I like
It
melody.
really
You
wasn't
know?
though.
Right. It was,
Again, when you look at it from the perspective of the scale they're playing in and
mhm.
the key they're playing in, it's just Middle Eastern. It's
Yeah,
just not
yeah,
what we're used to.
yeah.
Yeah. I just couldn't mess with the harmonies. There was something about the way their harmonies sounded that were off to me.
It's his voice,
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah, I just never. System of a Down was not for me, but
Right.
they were for a lot of people.
Hmm.
So there are tons of people who love that band. So
Well, I'm still a stand for them. So
right on, man.
Nothing wrong with it. I'm sure we all got I'm a Tool stand. They're my favorite
Tool is
band.
great. I love Tool. That's another one. They mess around with time signatures a lot.
One of the best live bands I have ever seen. And I've seen uh, Slayer, Pantera, Judas Priest, Ozzy a bunch of times, Black Sabbath. I've seen bands, and
Hmm.
Tool are just so good. But that's another band that are obsessive. They control every moment of their song.
Right.
They bring
See,
their
a
own
lot of
sound.
casual people I don't think get into them because of that.
Right.
But it's a shame because they're a really good band.
And I'm
Dream Theater's another one
it
from the
didn't
same
see I
era,
Oh,
never got
sure.
into
or there
Dream
might have been
Theater.
a few years earlier. But
I know Keith did. We've talked about
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. I like
didn't get
Dream
into
Theater.
Dream Theater.
I think Dream Theater's good. I
Yeah.
mean, my favorite band is Dramarama.
Mm.
You know,
yep.
Well, we listened to Vinyl.
Final. Yeah.
I liked it and I'm getting completely cold. I thought it was a really cool album. I know why it didn't hit when it came out because people didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
majority of I I think, and I'm learning, maybe I'm wrong, probably wrong, but it seems like the majority of music listeners are just kind of like, all right, give me Creed on the radio or Three Doors Down. Give me everything that kind of fits together with everything else in the background. So
Mhm.
when bands like System of a Down, Drama Rama, there's been a couple other bands we've talked about when they drop the album that people just don't know what to do with it.
Right, 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 right. Dude, it's funny that you're talking about bands like that. Kevin actually had a radio station where he banned Nickelback,
Oh, I remember that.
and
PCBFM.
yeah, and because Nickelback was banned, Theory of a Dead Man was also banned.
Yep.
That's right.
I thought that was funny. 'Cause,
We're
I
seeing the
think I had
same
about 12
thing.
listeners.
hey,
We see the same
I
thing.
did do a contest though where I gave away a keyboard and somebody did enter it. So I had
hey,
some listeners.
yeah, it's somebody entering it. So yeah, you know,
Uh, that's just the way the music industry worked. Oh crap, Nickelback are huge. All right, we need the next Nickelback. Which
yeah,
Nickelback are a bar band. If you're, I think, again, if you're a real music lover, you've seen bar
Mhm.
bands and
If you're a music lover, you've seen Nickelback before because in the 80s it was called Loverboy.
hey now,
Loverboy
And
better.
I mean, you can take whatever popular Canadian band there is in a given time, and that's going to be the band that's hated in that time in America. That's just how it is.
yeah,
Hmm.
Um, Even Rush has people that hate them now. You know?
I'm not a fan,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't like how can you say anything bad about those musicians? I don't care. I
yeah.
don't like Geddy Lee's voice all that much, so it puts me off. But if you
I
put that
grew up
as
on Rush. I loved Rush.
you put that aside, those musicians, there's only two answers when you talk about the best drummers of all time. I know everybody wants to say John Bonham. It's either Neil Peart or Danny Carey. Period.
Portnoy,
Dave Lombardo.
Portnoy.
Wow.
You think he's better than Carey or?
I'm just throwing the name out there. He's up there with them.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. So Rush, like him or not, which for me it's not. Well, that's not true. Remember Clockwork
Time Stand
Caravan?
Still.
No, it's a whole an album. The
Oh,
leading
Oh
song was
yeah,
Caravan.
Clockwork Angels album.
Yes, there's a song on there I really, really like. And I don't know if it's because as Geddy got older, his voice wasn't quite as
Right,
high. But
right.
anyway, you can not like a band.
hmm
That's fine. Not like Nickelback, whatever, but you have to respect Rush. You have
hmm
to. I don't see how you can't. There's
Right.
I will even give Nickelback their props now. Do you guys ever watch Letterkenny? Remember
no.
that show, the Canadian
I
show?
haven't seen it.
Okay.
I know what it is, but I haven't seen it.
There's actually they're a double act in the show. The hockey players. One of the guys is played by Dylan Playfair. So I was watching this behind the scenes type show,
Hmm.
and they're just randomly talking to him about various elements of the show and whatnot. And just out of nowhere, Dylan Playfair's on there, and he's defending Nickelback, and he will fight anybody that says they suck. And I kind of stepped back because I'd never seen it from that perspective before.
They don't suck. They know what they're doing. They're making rock.
Yeah.
It's
They're
just
making
rock.
money, is what they're
It's
doing.
straightforward, accessible rock.
And they made one fan, a guy named Dylan Playfair, you know?
Yeah.
Fair.
And that's not a diss at them. That's a guy that's ready to go to bat for them, you know?
How is that?
So
That's the same as John
I'll give
Cena.
them their respect.
It's the same thing as John Cena. He knows what he is, and he goes
Mhm.
out there and does it every time.
And
There's a
he's one of the
skill in
best at it.
that. What?
You know,
Yeah.
he's one of the best at it. I
Right.
won't knock John Cena.
No, but Nickelback are kind of the same thing.
Keith will remember this though. When I first heard John Cena, I didn't hear Cena. I heard Fina with an F.
Yeah.
And here's why: because at the time, this was the '90s,
Mhm.
so Cena he wasn't famous yet. He was just coming up. Um,
Was he still the prototype, or is this when he was in OVW?
this might have still been OBW. Um, so John Fina was a lineman for the Bills.
Mm.
There was another lineman for the Bills named Mitch Farrat, who I happen to know wanted to be a pro wrestler. I don't think he ever did, but it wasn't that much of a stretch to think that, well, maybe his buddy next to him in the line wants to be a pro wrestler also. So when I first heard John Fina, I thought he was. I
Yeah.
thought that was the guy from the Bills.
We knew
And
about that
pardon?
OVW class because I believe now, I'm not sure where the timing is there, but I think when they were doing their thing in OVW is when we started, we being, Tom, Troy, Damian Cole, New Era wrestling guys, started getting into the business. So we were around a lot more. So we were aware of Cena and Batista, who was called Leviathan.
Right.
Right.
I don't think I'm pretty positive I've not been on any shows with them, but you know how it is when you're backstage and you're a wrestling fan, it's like, oh man, who's coming up? And
Mm-hmm.
people are like, oh, you should see so and so, especially for us at New Era, because we kind of real quick, we got with a guy. He was like, if you guys buy the ring, I'll get you guys trained. So we bought a ring, we got trained, we put on our first show as MCW, I think, Midwestern champ. Anyway, the
Mm-hmm.
guy that said buy the ring, get us trained, took the money and bounced. So we had a ring, and we were
Sorry,
just
man.
like,
That shit happens though.
fuck
Yeah.
it, let's do our own thing. So we were all young as shit, green as shit, but we already had our own show. We were already booking our own shows. So I had a lot more interaction with peers in that group because, we had to reach out and book. And then
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
from booking, you start to learn a little bit more. So I kind of got exposed to a lot of those guys that went on to be well known, luckily at like an early point in my career. I still sucked it in the ring, don't get me wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
also we had as a group back then, we got together and that's how we did everything. That's how we booked, that's how we did
Mm-hmm.
flyers. So I got a little bit more of an exposure to those guys, like what was going on in OVW and HWA and the different promotions in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Ian Rotten, um IWA. Yeah,
IWA Mid South. Yeah.
yeah. So I was kind of aware of those guys before they come up onto TV, I guess is what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling's an interesting thing,
It is indeed.
Definitely is.
but this isn't my taste in wrestling sucks.
It's not.
Right.
You know
This is
what?
the
There's always a crossover. MVP was just on with the Yacht Rock guys on their podcast.
Nice. Nice.
So
so song 7, Not Your Slave. Where are you guys at with this?
yeah, it's a good
Um,
song. Good
yeah.
song.
Is that the one where they were talking about the chips and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, so I thought Die 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 and Not Your Slave kind of had a interesting sort of story that they were kind of telling
Mm-hmm.
about the future and about the government, and things like that.
Yeah, it was getting
If
a
they
little
only
more
knew.
what?
If they only knew.
Yeah.
Well, they're
Because that
they're
was less
getting a
than a
little
decade before, you know?
they're
Yeah,
getting a
yeah,
little
yeah.
more conceptual, it's a little less straightforward. I feel this way, you feel this way, and he's telling these big sci-fi, well, not yet, but he's kind of hinting at how later on they start telling these big sci-fi stories or zombie
Right.
stories. For me, I thought the song was really cool.
Yeah.
um it put me off on a tangent about sound waves and how it affects water and how we're mostly water, and how Keith and I have talked a bunch about how we could either have this kind of positive music, like in a healing way, or once again, the more negative music that kind of can hurt you. So I was just
Mhm.
kind of wondering, Kevin, what you think about that whole theory or idea about using music to basically affect us, either to, heal us, make us happy, or hurt us, break our heart, that kind of thing.
Um, Obviously, a good lyricist is a storyteller at
Hmm.
heart, um, that can control your emotions with words.
Right.
Um, Myself, like I say, when I'm first listening to music, I'm listening for the instrumentation. I'm listening for, like weird time signatures or how the instruments play off each other. So I'm kind of more technical like that when I first listen. As I get into it, I tend to
Mhm.
listen more into the lyrics and stuff, but that's not what catches me as a listener typically. Um,
For me, and I'll ask Keith the same question. It's different every time. I go into it with a big open mind and a big imaginative mind. It's like, okay, show me what you're trying to say or how you're trying to feel. So I approach it more in I don't know how I word that, in a just open, show me something, give me something to latch onto. And it could be uh, lyrics, it could be, drums, guitar, bass. And I think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, Keith,
Yeah.
you're more of you like to hear the influences in the bands, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like to. So when I'm listening to something, if there's something that catches my ear that sounds like something that I've heard before,
Hmm.
then I'm more likely to dig into it a little deeper. When it's stuff that it's like, wow, I've never heard anything like this, it takes me a little bit to get into it. So
I
yeah.
wonder if that's, and
Now,
I'll bring Kevin into this too. I wonder if that has to do with Keith has always been very open about his OCD, and I've always been very open about my ADHD. So I'm sure I'm making
I'm
sense,
pretty healthy
hopefully.
OCD myself. I'll lock the door like 8 times.
Okay. So
So
that explains why you're probably a little more technical. You're a little more, it needs, not needs to be, but I like for it to be this part I'm hearing, then this part I'm hearing, and
mhm,
this part I'm
mhm.
hearing, where scatterbrain me is like, oh, I don't know, give me something. Woo!
yeah,
We
yeah,
talk about this kind of thing a lot, and I'm just kind of
Mhm.
dragging
yeah, yeah.
Kevin into it.
Yeah, we do.
You guys got
My
anything?
OCD is a bitch right now. Um,
Well, that's why we're trying to pick these lighter albums. That way we can
Mhm.
drag or lift, I guess is the better word, Keith up
yeah,
a little bit as he's struggling.
And like I said early on, this was a good album to choose to introduce somebody to this band because, like I say, I'd never heard of this band, and now I'm going to go look for more of their stuff.
We've done that a bunch.
yeah, yeah.
He brought uh um God, we just watched her do her Tina Turner thing.
Oh, Jen Christie.
Right. Singer-songwriter,
I'm
more
interested.
pop. Not my style at all.
Hmm.
But listening to it, I was just like, I have to hear more. It's
Yeah.
and Keith brought a lot of bands like that I would have never given a chance. I don't know why. Maybe because I didn't think I liked, let's say, Americana,
Hmm.
but
Right.
sitting down with it this style, it's like, oh no, now I get it.
There's a lot of styles though. Like I slagged new metal earlier.
Hmm.
New metal as a straight up genre, I can't stand it. Like I say, other than System of a Down, but that's not straight up. That's
Right.
new metal with a twist.
Yeah.
New
And
metal hybridized with other kinds of music
mm,
is freaking amazing. And I think
Right.
that's true of a lot of different kinds of music. Country is another example. Straight up
mhm.
country is terrible,
Yeah, I'm not a
especially
big fan.
today. But when you take country and you apply it to some other kind of music,
Yeah.
cowpunk, um,
Did you say
some of the,
cowpunk?
the cow, you're not familiar with cowpunk?
No.
Oh man.
Oh, okay. You need to go back to the 80s and listen to like oh shit. Happy Boy. What song what band is that? Come on. I know this.
From the 80s, Happy Boy.
They were played on Dr. Demento like all the time.
I remember
Oh.
Dr. Demento.
He used to play a lot of cowpunk.
I
It's
don't
basically it's basically countrified punk rock.
Yeah.
Is it silly? Like
But
silly
it
lyrics?
sounds good. And then you take like country elements and apply them to like except for the Eagles. I'm going to diss the Eagles.
Nah.
But some of that California West Coast sound that had some country elements to it wasn't
Mhm.
bad.
I mean, I like Jason and the Scorchers.
Yeah.
I
You
am not familiar with cowpunk. Just the name alone. Like
know?
That's killing me now because I should know who they are. Um,
cowpunk. What would the lyrics even be about?
Dead Milkman's another good band from that area.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you're familiar with them.
Yes.
Um,
I was never a big punk guy either, but I'm aware of all the whatever staples. You got
mhm,
Sex Pistols, which is a cool story. Dead Kennedys
mhm,
are in
mhm.
there. Rancid, and then you get into mall punk, which is even
Right.
worse. Green Day, they're the kings of it. I can't name any other mall punk bands. But to me,
Blink 182 and all that stuff.
yeah, I'm not a fan of punk music. I love the attitude,
Mhm.
DIY. I love it. It's just, I don't know. It just didn't connect with me.
Well,
Yeah.
see, when I was, yeah, I guess I was probably a sophomore, maybe a junior. Um, on the wrestling team, we had a guy on the team that was very into punk. So
Hmm.
he would bring in like all these different bands. I I discovered Anthrax first among them, but then he also would play like um, Butthole Surfers and things like that.
Ugh,
So I was hearing all this stuff back in the '80s that would become popular a decade later.
Right.
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 But it was always kind of cool.
Where does you mentioned the bear or right out of my head,
Butthole Surfers.
Butthole Surfers.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember this is one of the to me the dumbest songs ever written. It was
Yeah.
like it kept saying he would hum a lot. I can't even remember the tune.
I don't
Oh,
mind the
you're thinking of the
sun
Crash Test Dummies?
Yes,
sometimes.
I am.
Oh, okay. I like the Crash Test Dummies.
You like a lot of stuff.
That's another
So,
Canadian band that Americans dissed.
Yeah,
well,
I saw the Crash Test Dummies at the Freedom Festival,
how were they?
Friendship Festival. They were good. I thought they were good.
I've seen a few bands where I say I don't like them, like Judas Priest. I know I've told the story, so I'll speed through it for
I'll be
Kevin.
a stand for Judas Priest till I die.
Me
Yeah.
too
That's a
now.
great
I don't
band.
listen to them, but we were at one of the Ozfests, right? And they were going on before Ozzy. I've seen Ozzy a bunch of times, not a huge fan. So we were going to leave. Plus, it was getting ready to rain. But me and my buddy Marcus were there, and he's like, you know what? I've never seen Judas Priest live. Let's give him a chance. Dude, I don't even know what to say. They were phenomenal from
Mhm.
Yeah.
start to finish. Rob Halford's Big O Gabe, he just owned that stage. The band was tight. I was blown away by
How
them.
long they've been doing it, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the
They know
thing.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's like Iron Maiden, same
Yep.
thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Where are we at?
In due time.
In due
Yes, we
time.
are.
This song had a lot of breakdowns.
Yes, it did.
They're all
It was,
good though. They're
yeah.
they're they're a very good band.
Yeah.
There was
And
he
once
did
again,
this.
Nate Gray, I want to give him his props. He's a great bass player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look up to see if he went on to do anything else. It'll be worth seeing where he went with it. Maybe there's a Wikipedia I have a CD somewhere that might tell me the members actually. There's a couple he does it a couple times in here. I think maybe twice. The singer like he doesn't really hold the note the same way. It's like he holds it wavers.
Hmm.
Like goes up. It was really, really cool the way he's doing
I
it
think they
because it
call
was
that a
in
quaver.
it maybe it was in one breath and it was just
So it's like
you
a
Maynard. Yeah,
quarter
I was
note
like,
kind of weird thing. Yeah.
ooh, I just put chef's kiss.
Hmm.
It was impressive the way he delivered it, where it was at in the song. I was just like, oh man, he's showing off a little bit.
Hmm.
Right on. Right on.
Did you get that far, Keith? I know you were having some issues.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I just noticed that this song had a bunch of breakdowns, a bunch of big breakdowns in the same song. And I thought that was kind of a neat way to structure a song.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. The structures, and there's a couple songs we've talked about where we were just like, yeah, it's okay. They're doing their thing. And there's a few, also a couple more songs like this one where it's like, okay, now they're really kind of hitting their own. They're really starting to show, here's what we can do.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say on that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
okay. Well, we'll go on to the next one because I've got a couple things to say about this that I was hoping
Yes.
Keith would pick up on. So let Kevin go ahead and say his reactions and his thoughts so I can gather this.
I kind of got a lot of the same for both Shine and When It Rains. I didn't pick up on anything specific about either song, but they're both good.
Yeah.
It This band impressed me in general.
One of the things that impressed me about uh, Shine is the vocalist never takes a breath.
Mm,
Like he is singing the whole time. It's like it's like it's rising and soaring, and he is just singing the whole freaking time. And I was just like, are they gonna give him a minute? Like, but no, he just sings the whole time, and that was wild.
yeah, he's really showing off.
Yeah.
Now, I wrote a couple different things here. One of them, I was like, please, please let Keith hear this and find inspiration. He said something that in a line, and I wrote it down, so obviously I'm going to get to it. I was hoping it would grab you because he said, right now, you got what you need. Shine now. Because I know you're
Yeah.
struggling and you keep saying, I want to get back to this and I want to get back to whatever. And it's like, do it, man. You can do it. I know you can do it. All your friends know you can do it. Just it's your time. Shine. And I thought it was ab I can't even say that. Pro
Apropos.
yeah, for everything going on. And
Thanks, sir.
I was like, please let him hear this. And that got me thinking about um the power of words and music to really, really affect people and how in writing, it's called a spell. And I was just like, why is it called a spell? Why are you spelling? I
Yeah.
just thought, well, it's because you're trying to affect someone with your words. And that's the magic of music I'm always going on about. So that got me wondering what you guys were thinking as you were listening, if any of the stuff was really grabbing you, especially, I guess, Kevin, for you, it'd be the second time around when you listen to it.
Mhm. Um, like I say, I was still into the instrumentalist of it. Um, I didn't like it for both of these last two songs. I didn't take any real specific notes, just because it sounded like this band, and I
Right,
was
right.
just appreciating the band. Um,
And now that I know a little more about you and you've talked about OCD, I get it. I get
mhm,
that you would need to structure out your talking points, your
mhm, mhm.
parts of the
By the way,
song.
that cowpunk band I was thinking of, the Beat Farmers.
Oh, I remember them.
The
I remember
Beat
the Meat
Farmers.
Farmers. I remember the Meat
They were
Farmers.
good.
Yeah.
I just don't think I'm as open-minded to music. I mean, I am now because we do this, as you guys are. Because cowpunk, if you'd have even said, oh, well, the Butthole Surfers are cowpunk, I'd just go, no.
No, they're kind of their own thing.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, the Butthole Surfers or whatever they are. I'm not a fan
I'll
of the
tell you
Butthole
what,
Surfers.
I worked in radio when Pepper became a hit.
Oh man.
And I wasn't playing the top 40, so we weren't playing it, but some of my colleagues were, all my friends were,
Yeah.
and it cracked me up every time I heard them on the radio and having to call them the Surfers
Oh,
because you couldn't say that on the radio.
I have a
It's funny.
strange deep cut band that maybe you guys have heard of. I believe they were called Butt Trumpet.
Oh, I
Yes,
love butt
I'm
trumpet.
familiar with them. Yep,
Yeah.
No, you guys actually, because I've
I've
always
heard of them.
quoted,
Yep.
I have the CD, dude.
I love you,
Half
but
of that.
your friends,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. I love you.
wow.
At the same time,
Yep.
all at
All at
once,
once.
we have
Cluster.
fun. We cluster fuck.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
My buddy Scott growing up listened to them. I was going back and forth visiting once I moved to Shelbyville before, before cell phones and all that, and you just kind of lost touch with people. And he had that album.
Okay.
Terrible. I thought it was terrible. I wasn't into that kind of music,
Yeah.
but that was funny.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
most people, they're like, I have no idea what you're even talking about.
Half of that band became Betty Blowtorch, and then Bianca Blowtorch ended up passing away. So
Okay.
yeah, just a little background.
No, that's cool. I just don't know. I know that was what the singer, that was her name, I guess.
Well, everyone sang in that band.
Oh, I only remember the girl. She sang Clusterfuck. So,
Yeah.
or
Well,
was
no, the
it?
dude sang Clusterfuck.
Was it a dude?
Yeah, the dude sang
Yeah, it was a
Clusterfuck.
dude.
I probably haven't heard that song in 30 years.
Yeah. I love you, but I fuck your friends. It was
All
definitely
right.
good.
I can get more obscure.
Okay.
You guys probably did this too, where you would go to whatever your music store would be, and you would just be like, title, I don't know, sounds interesting, doesn't sound interesting, sounds interesting.
Right.
My buddy Marcus picked up this, I don't know if they were rapcore. Okay, I can't say the name of the band yet until I talk about how the CD starts. It starts basically you hear these yuppies. They moved into this neighborhood. They're uppity yuppies, and they're like this. It's a skit, I guess. They're like, "Whoa, there's a band playing next door." Oh, what are they saying? It turns out, and this is the name of the band. They're saying "nuts in your mouth," and it's like nuts in your mouth.
Oh my gosh.
That's all I remember. Is the
That's
band was called
hilarious.
Nuts in Your Mouth, and
I
I
thought you were
remember
going to
that.
AC for a minute, but no, that
Oh
doesn't
man.
sound familiar.
I'll
Yeah,
have
I've
to look
never
them
heard
up
nuts in your
sometime to
mouth.
see where they came from. I personally don't like silly music. I don't like.
Right.
I don't listen to who's the really good. They go back and forth. Lonely Island.
Oh yeah. Lonely Island's great.
I like a
Mhm.
couple songs, but I'm not gonna search it out because I don't like comedy music, and I don't know why. I love stand up, but it's
Man.
like
You know
comedy
what?
music.
I'm gonna defend Eddie Murphy right here because he gets us a lot of slag for
My girl wants to party all the time.
that song is a bop.
It's great, dude. It's
It's
a
a
great
great
song.
song.
Did he
That's a
write it
freaking Rick
though?
James song. You
Yeah, I
realize
was gonna
that?
say. I was gonna say.
That's Rick James
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
Rick
with
I,
Eddie
James
Murphy
song.
singing.
yeah. I
Yeah.
was gonna say I don't think he wrote it.
Rick James wrote it.
Yeah,
Yeah, Rick James wrote that song.
James, bitch.
Yeah, and he was
Yeah.
in the studio. I mean, I'm sure he was doing stuff in the studio.
Some of those
No,
guys,
I will
man.
I will go to bat for Eddie Murphy on that song. And also Boogie in Your Butt. That's a great song too. That was a hilarious song.
Yeah.
I,
Well, the thing about Eddie Murphy too is like he sang a lot during his stand-up,
He
mhm.
really did.
and he wasn't like a bad singer. So,
Mm-mm.
you know,
Well, I was gonna bring up Jamie Foxx.
yeah,
Yeah.
That guy, like his albums were good. It wasn't
yeah,
my
Mhm.
thing, whatever, but they were good. They
yeah,
weren't jokey. They were like serious. And of course, he did the Ray Charles movie where he sounded phenomenal. So
Mhm.
there's
Mhm.
it. It happens where guys cross over like that, especially
yeah.
like
Yep.
since I say I don't like the I don't know, good example, bad example for me would be Adam Sandler. He
Right.
writes
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, those are
Comedy,
definitely jokey songs. I'm not
Yeah.
saying they're bad. I'm just saying
I
they're
don't
jokey.
like it. I just
Well,
don't like it. I don't know. It doesn't deliver the thing I want from music.
right.
The Hanukkah song is not a Rick James song, is what
No,
I'm
it's
getting at.
not. Do you guys
Um,
remember Jack Wagner?
Pardon?
Jack Wagner?
No.
Yeah, he did. He was the soap opera star, but he had a hit
Right.
in the '80s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He is an amazing singer.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
good.
Oh my God, that All I Need song is so
Well,
good.
the ultimate case of that was Rick Springfield.
Yeah,
oh, fair.
except Rick
I
Springfield
mean,
became.
Unless you're
he
in
was a soap
Germany.
opera star, but then he had a bunch of hits.
Unless
Yeah.
you're in Germany, and then the ultimate example is the Hoff.
Yes. Yes, indeed. David
How?
Hasselhoff.
Other than evidently they just
I don't know. I think as a musician, I have to go with Springfield over the Hoff.
oh yeah, I was making a crappy joke and I was trying to go it's because everybody bombed the crap out of Germany and they just have no taste. But that's perfectly fair. But Hasselhoff is huge.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I just saw Rick Springfield and Sammy Hagar doing I've Done Everything for You.
Mm.
That
Sammy
must have
Hagar
been
don't get enough
amazing.
credit.
Yeah, it was cool. It was like a recent thing. Sammy comes
Recently.
out. Yeah, it was recent. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Sammy came out with his tequila.
Because that's a Sammy song that
Well,
Rick
it's
covered.
actually a Rick Springfield song that Sammy covered, isn't it?
No, no, no.
Oh,
That's
it's
a
the other
Sammy
way
Hagar
around.
song that Rick Springfield covered.
Oh, okay. Right on. I wasn't
Sammy
sure.
Hagar don't get enough credit.
Nah, he really doesn't.
Oh, Sammy Hagar is amazing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get shit all the well, not all the time anymore, but I prefer Van Hagar. Sorry.
Me
I
too.
like both. I
Oh
will
yeah,
not
I
pick one.
like both.
I like
Well,
both. And
Dave
here's the other
Sharon,
thing. I like Gary Sharon.
Gary
me
Sharon,
too.
Van Sharon was terrible. I
very
think
terrible.
I'll agree with everybody on that.
There is a fire
Um,
in the hole.
Hmm.
Extreme was amazing. I loved
Yeah,
Extreme.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard that.
Um,
I've not sat down and really got into Extreme, but I know a lot of
mhm.
people talk about how Nuno Bettencourt is supposed to be a phenomenal guitar
He's
player.
amazing. Yeah,
They are
yeah,
And a lot
correct.
of people say Extreme is actually a better band than you would think because their big hit was what, More Than Words?
More than words.
right,
And then Wholehearted. And that's basically the same song.
right.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, when you listen to like Susie Wants Her All Day Sucker, that's a great song.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Um, a whole bunch of that whole album was good.
right.
There's a
I will
couple of
say,
those.
bringing up Susie Wants Her All Day Sucker, um, for the first two albums at least,
Hmm.
Hmm.
lyrically,
Yeah, they did stuff like that a lot.
yeah, you know,
Right.
Well, I mean, the album was
right.
called Porno Graffiti for crying out loud.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
I mean, they were playing off of that.
yeah.
Um, there was it their third or fourth album, Waiting for the Punchline.
Fourth,
Fourth. Okay. It was
because the
not a
third
hit.
is three
It was
sides
not
of
a
the
hit.
story. Right,
There was a song released off of it called No Respect that's freaking amazing, but it wasn't a hit.
right, right.
There were a couple of those artists, I'll say, like Nuno Bettencourt. One of them, to me, is so extremely overrated, and his name is escaping me right now. But he's been in everything. He was in like Rockstar Supernova and guitar player, dark hair, eyeliner.
Gilby Clark?
No,
No.
um,
Yeah.
very, very.
Gilby Clark was the guitar player in Rockstar Supernova.
Right. Oh, maybe he only hosted the show. I thought he was in the band.
Oh, Dave Navarro.
Dave Navarro. Thank you very much.
Oh,
No
okay.
problem.
Yeah, he was in Chili Peppers
Why?
And Jane's Addiction.
and Jane's
Why?
Addiction.
He's like everybody, not everybody, but I know a lot of people that talk him up, and he was everywhere. And to me, it's like, why?
I don't know, man. But I love Ink
Cool enough guy to
Master.
be around, I guess. Maybe the guys in the band just liked him, you know?
Right? Maybe he's one of those guys that don't, to me, don't have a sound that's going to instantly jump out at you like Van Halen did, or
Mhm.
you name any guitar player really, but he
Well, you
can.
think about the bands he was in, though. Jane's Addiction wasn't the guitar player; it was Perry Farrell.
Right. Right.
Um,
which
the
hurt
Chili
them.
Peppers were not the guitar player; it was Flea and Anthony Kiedis,
And
Right.
they,
and now it's Chad Smith or is it Chad
Right.
Smith, the
yeah,
guy that
Yeah.
looks like Will
inspirational
Ferrell.
story, right?
Yes.
Nice inspirational story. Oh no, not Chad Smith, their guitar player, the guy who was their original one and did all
Oh,
that.
Hillel.
Frusciante
Yeah,
or
for
however you
Shanti.
pronounce it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Frusciante, I know Keith and I have talked about this band. Kevin, are you aware of the Mars Volta?
I've heard of them. I don't know much about them.
Dude, Francis the Mute. Uh, it's it's phenomenal. It sits over here in its own thing. It's so well played, and their drummer is like I don't even really good. I they might be a little man. Are they too big to do on here?
I don't know.
Man, you're familiar with them, right?
They were
Yeah.
well known. I've heard of them. It was not a band I ever got into or ever pursued looking into. But I remember I probably read about them in Rolling Stone or something.
Right.
Right.
The other albums are more like if you like them, you like those albums. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Francis the Mute is a masterpiece of musical playing. There's trumpets and odd timing signatures and weird stories being told and 13-minute songs that are, or actually it's 23 minutes. It's just,
Hmm.
they're one of those bands that we were talking about that I personally think everybody needs to hear.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't know what to do with them. It's hard for me to even explain what they are as far as genre.
Yeah. I saw them play on Henry Rollins' talk show.
Mm.
And
Hmm.
Henry Rollins had a talk show.
Which album were they promoting? Do you
I can
remember?
tell you, it was around 2009. So,
Maybe Deloused in the Comatorium, more punky sound, whereas um, Francis the Mute is more experimental, I guess.
yeah.
There was
Anyway,
another band around that time called Gogol Bordello. Have you
yep.
heard of them?
I remember them. Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
like a gypsy band.
Mhm.
Yep.
I have a friend in Tennessee. She's
Aren't they from Indianapolis?
Are they?
I thought
I,
so.
I never knew where they were from, but they definitely had like a Romanian, Ukrainian,
Yeah.
Eastern European influence.
They
Yeah.
might be from around the area because I got a friend in Tennessee that is either, I think not only she's a big fan, I think she knows them personally too. And she's
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
all about them. And that's how I heard them. And you're right. They had this almost unexplainable sound. It's like
Yeah,
maybe rockabilly, but not
not
really.
quite.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
quite.
Another one of those
Definitely some
bands,
gypsy stuff going on
It's
there.
gypsies. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
that are doing their own thing.
Mhm.
And that's really cool to me. Like we've talked about Nickelback and Hinder and all these bands that blend into the background that aren't doing anything groundbreaking. And it
Right.
seems like for every 20 of those bands, there's a Go-Go Bordello or the System of a Down, the Mars Volta, these more art rock progressive bands.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I love that kind of thing, I guess, maybe.
Hmm.
It's
You
just
guys
whatever
want to
grabs
talk
you, I
about
guess.
the last track?
Yeah, bring it on home, I guess.
It rains.
So I thought that there was moments that sounded like thrash.
Yeah, yeah.
Thought it was interesting. Like, and then they did a quiet loud. They had the quiet loud dynamic,
Hmm.
which they hadn't really done. I thought it was an interesting way to wrap up the album. I wrote down radio song with a question mark because this song
That's Broken
actually,
Arms. Hands down, that's Broken Arms.
oh, right
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
right on. But I felt like this song um, kind of brought together a lot of familiar elements.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
There's
that
a
was why I was.
definitely a go home track. Kevin, where are you at on this?
I think I would agree. It was a good wrap up for the album. Again, no specific notes really. It sounded like this band,
Right.
but I think I would agree that it was a good wrap up.
For me, it took me in two different places, which is, I think, worth bringing up. The first one is it really made me connect storytelling in music to storytelling in the ring, right? With your beats, your timing, your music energy, the kind of back and forth, frantic tempo and tone, the ups and downs, the hope
Hmm.
spots, you guys get it. You both worked and are workers. So do you guys do that? Like, do you guys connect how storytelling, especially in music, maybe in movies too, and storytelling in the ring are kind of the same thing?
It's storytelling in general.
Yeah.
Do
Right.
you want
But
to know? This is a weird thing, and it might be weird of me to admit this.
shit, we've gotten weird. Don't worry about it.
You're familiar with the Last Battle of Atlanta?
The what?
Last Battle of Atlanta. Buzz Sawyer versus Tommy Rich in the cage
Oh, okay. Yeah.
with
Oh
Paul
shit.
Ellering in the little cage up top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sort of, when I watch that, I sort of imagine it with like classical music, if that
Mm,
makes any sense.
Mhm.
And you can hear the movements, like when Ole comes out and starts beating the crap out of Ellering. That's like a whole movement, like a different part of the piece. If that makes any sense.
no, it
Yeah.
actually makes perfect sense. And unless Keith has a comment, it leads me into the second part of what I got out of this song.
No, go for it.
So, let's see if I can word this right. Is music just a sonic representation of what the body does? Follow me for a minute, right? You got the
Mhm.
beat, your heartbeat, you got your blood flow, which would be like your tempo, the guitars, be it bass and regular lead guitar, are like your emotions and the imagination of it. And then finally, obviously, the voice is going to be, or the vocals is going to be, expression, voice, words, that kind of thing.
I think of it more as a sonic representation of time.
Of
Hmm.
time? How so?
Time. Because you get time signatures going on. You got 4/4, you got 4, 7/8, whatever. But it's doing weird different things with it with the
Mhm.
time as you're going along. Um, that's just kind of how I hear it.
That makes sense, but yeah, it makes sense and it doesn't make sense because time doesn't exist. But time does exist because it's in music, it's in
Yeah.
wrestling, it's in storytelling and all
It's
that.
in Revolution Around the Sun.
Right, right.
It's everything.
Well, oh God, I'm so weird. It's not that time doesn't exist, it's that it might all exist at once.
Right.
So is it that important? But it has to be important because without the measure of moments, how
Hmm.
would we be able to express anything?
Right.
Because if you don't know what an hour is, how are we going to be able to say, "Oh, I remember riding my bike for an hour and listen to this tape or listen to this album?" So yeah, actually,
Well, 2 hours a day over a summer in between 10th and 11th grade, you know?
There
yeah.
you go. Yeah.
And then you look back on it and it's like, wait a minute, how? Where did it go? Like I'm old. I'm what am I 48 now? Doesn't feel
Where did
like
it go? But I still remember like every minute of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I
I
remember a
remember
lot.
well, I don't remember sore legs as much. They were definitely sore though.
Are
Yeah.
there any songs you can't listen to anymore because you associate them with, say, people or events? Or I think I asked
Um,
Keith and he said no.
there were a couple of breakups for a while that I couldn't listen to the music. The ones that get me is classic rock,
Mm.
like the typical classic rock that you'd hear on the radio, the Led Zeppelins, the
Hmm.
Leonard Skinner specifically, stuff that you'd hear a lot in the '90s on classic rock radio
Right.
that I just couldn't listen to for a long time, and I can now.
Because they were
Um,
overplayed.
Pardon?
Is it because they were overplayed?
They were overplayed.
Yeah.
To this day, though, I love Led Zeppelin.
Oh, absolutely.
Zeppelin 4 is my least favorite album.
Mm. Okay.
4 is
Stairway.
Yeah,
oh
Stairway to
really?
Heaven, and is Black
I'm
Dog on
I'm
there too?
Yeah.
into like Physical Graffiti and that era, like mid
Oh, so you
70s.
like the more open exploratory. I like the
Yes.
raw blues, like
So you're into like
double
Zeppelin 2.
BBC, yeah, and the
Yeah.
Zeppelin
double
2's great.
BBC.
See, I like that too. But I'm all about like Rain Song was a really good one, although that's kind of mellow compared to what I usually like. Houses of the Holy,
Mm.
that whole album, and the
Houses of
song,
the
which was not on
Holy
Houses of the Holy. Go figure.
was a really bitchin' album. Bono kicked ass on it and then
Yeah,
choked on. What is that?
Jamaica. Jamaica was a good one.
You guys
Um,
Oh yeah.
remember more music than I do. There was this was probably late 90s. I don't know the band or nothing. All I remember is the lyric, and it's as follows. Houses of the Holy was a really bitchin' album. Bonzo kicked ass on it, and then he choked on his vomit. And that's all I remember.
I
No
don't
clue,
remember that.
man. Damn.
Mm.
Damn.
Sounds accurate though.
Yeah, yeah, but man, Bonzo was like beating the shit out of those drums. And he
Yeah,
could
it
play
was.
too. You would hear him like Barnyard Stomp and
Hmm.
what's the drum solo song? I don't know.
Moby Dick.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is especially for that time, there was only one other person even trying that, and that was Keith Moon. Because we
Hmm.
didn't even have Neil Peart yet.
Right.
So
Another
okay,
underrated drummer, Jeff Becerra,
from
Toto,
Oh
really,
sure.
I'm not
because he took Bonzo's beat from "Fool in the Rain," and then he took what was it? The Purdy Shuffle from Steely Dan,
Sure.
turned that into Rosanna. He basically took
Hmm.
two completely different beats, put them
Yeah.
together, and it became Rosanna.
Nice.
I
Nice.
still argue now.
And everybody in the '80s that wanted a session drummer, they were hiring him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could look it up on YouTube. One of the reasons I personally say Danny Carey's the best drummer alive is watching him
Well,
not
Picaro's not
only
alive
do
anymore, so you can still say that.
4 different beats.
Hmm.
How the
Now, who is Danny Carey?
drummer for Tool?
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
How and it's not tricks. He's not using. It's him keeping 4 different. It's like how
Hmm.
watch
Man.
it. When I saw him do that at one of those Nam things, I was just like, get it bit dead
How about Terry Bozzio,
from
Missing Persons,
missing
and
Hmm.
Frank
person.
Zappa?
Frank Zappa was a CIA cutout.
Okay.
You know
Um,
who else was a CIA cutout that no one knows?
who's
Jim
that?
Morrison. His
Hmm.
Interesting.
father was the person in charge of ordering the Gulf of Tonkin incident. If
Hmm.
you're familiar with that, the U.S., our government, sunk our own ship in the Gulf of Tonkin and blamed it on somebody else so we would go to war.
Hmm.
Jim Morrison's dad is the guy that was in charge of that operation. There's this
Hmm.
really good book called Scenes from the Canyon that talks about how some of these bands, the Grateful Dead, CIA cutout, they were ran by the CIA. They were like, okay,
Hmm.
go do your thing. We'll help you get all
Oh, weird.
radio and sell acid. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm weird. Sorry to.
So,
It's all good. All good. Yeah, Bozzio, he played with Frank Zappa, and then
Mhm.
his wife Dale, which any of us that grew up with early MTV, we've seen Dale Bozzio. Some of us probably grew up from Boys to Men from seeing Dale Bozzio. Um,
Oh, I didn't know that.
but yeah, they formed Missing Persons after that, and they
that
had like
was
one
no
or two
more
hits. And
words. Was that
yeah, No More Words,
okay?
or no, that was Berlin. What are words for?
Hmm.
Walking in LA was another one, and
Okay.
Destination Unknown.
Okay. Okay.
I remember Destination Unknown.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Speaking of these kind of like crazy players that don't get enough credit,
And here's a Destination Unknown's a good one because at the end there's a part where uh he's hitting the ride, but he's hitting it with 16 notes.
Hmm.
It's insane. He's doing it with one hand
Wow,
and he's keeping the beat.
crazy.
that's insanity.
I've been trying to get Keith to watch. In my opinion, it's on HBO Max. One of the best live concerts on recording ever is the Talking Heads. Stop Making Sense. Have
That's a
you
great
seen
one.
it, Kevin?
That's a
Yeah.
great one.
I've been trying to get Keith to watch that because it's.
I mean, I've seen it just
Oh, okay.
a long time ago.
No,
Just saw it a long time ago in the 80s.
right
Yeah.
now.
That's another one of my favorite bands,
Yeah.
Talking Heads.
I love them, but they're not one of my favorite bands. That was phenomenal, and I will probably watch that again. And I love Take Me to the River.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of those bands they get a little weird.
I like the weird,
Yeah,
but
they do get a little
that's
weird.
just my thing.
No, I understand completely. They're one
I
of those
mean,
bands
when you
that's
grow
like,
up with like 80s staid pop, whatever,
Yeah,
getting that little taste of the weird is kind of cool. And I always
definitely.
appreciated it.
there was a weird band from Chicago in the mid thousands. What are we supposed to call that time? The aughts?
The odds,
Aughts.
that's what they call it. Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah, I agree.
But they were called Tub Ring, and they had that kind of weird Mr. Bungle type, not really noisecore. They were a little more
Mhm.
cohesive. Sometimes
Mhm.
it feels like Mr. Bungle just get weird to be weird.
Yeah,
Mhm. Part of it too, a lot of bands like that were weird in their time. Over time, they've influenced other bands that
Yes.
have made it more normal.
Well, I
right.
mean,
So I think a lot of kids that would listen to Mr. Bungle today would not hear it as weird. They would hear it as just like, oh, that's influenced these other guys, you know?
Tub Ring are absolutely on Spotify. Holy cow, this can't be them.
Oh, it probably is.
Are they putting out albums?
Yeah. I'll have to ask my
It's-
buddy. He's real into that kind of weird music. He's real into basically everything strange that Mike Patton does, like Mondo Cane and
Mhm.
Phantomos.
Right.
As long as he doesn't pee in his shoe and drink it.
Yeah,
Ugh,
Patton's a weirdo, but
That's a Michael Patton thing,
I
no,
don't
thank you,
think
sir.
apparently.
I don't think you can be. I mean, you can because obviously people do it, but there's this level of musician, guys like Patton, Frank Zappa, name a couple more. You don't really get to that point if you're not a little fucking crazy.
Right.
Either Patton's a perfectionist. A lot of
Mhm.
people are like, oh, he's an asshole, but people that actually know him is like, no, you don't understand. If he's in music mode, don't can bother him.
Right.
Right.
So same with like Trent
I'm into
Reznor.
Steely Dan, and they were very much like that.
Oh man.
Fun Steely. I need to look this up. It might be one of those rumors like Richard Gere and the Gerbil. If I'm not wrong,
Mhm.
um, Steve Martin was either going to be auditioned for or
You're
was
thinking of Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase. Thank you.
Chevy Chase
Steve-
was their drummer.
yes.
Wow.
They actually went to the same college.
Didn't they kick him out so he would
They
go
kicked
do
him out.
comedy?
They kicked him out.
Yeah, it was
It
like,
had nothing to do with the comedy. They just kicked him out because he didn't mesh or
oh, I
whatever.
thought it was they told him
They weren't actually Steely Dan at the time. It was whatever they were called at the time.
Mhm.
But Walter and Donald went on to form Steely Dan.
Right.
Oh.
right,
But they
right.
did play in a band with Chevy Chase.
Oh, I'm glad you
That's
were
wild.
able to clear that up for me because I'd always
Yeah.
heard that and I could never make the
Now, as
Correct.
musicians go, Steve Martin is an amazing banjo player.
Right.
And if Steely Dan ever had a part for a banjo, they probably would have
Steve
booked him.
Martin could be in on that. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's cool. And I knew the story, but I didn't know the specifics. But yeah, you know what I mean. So I'm glad you were able to connect the dots for me.
Mhm.
I love all that kind of stuff. I'm like I said, yeah. What do you want to
Steely
talk
Dan's the
about?
kind of band though, like when they were recording Asia, they hired probably a dozen guitarists to
Mm,
record a solo for Peg, the one that became
Right,
it.
right.
And they auditioned everybody for that, and they recorded a whole bunch of guys solos. They ended up picking just one of them.
mm.
Right. Right.
But
There's
how long did it take? It took like a week.
well,
You know?
there's those kind of
It's so
musicians out
crazy.
there. Look at from the Beach Boys, Pet Sounds. That's
Mhm.
all.
Oh, Brian Wilson.
Yeah,
Brian Wilson.
that's
That was
well, he was Ev. I know I've brought it up before. I don't think Keith has seen it. Have you, Kevin? Have you seen Love and Mercy?
I have not.
It's John Cusack
Mhm.
playing Brian Wilson,
I'm
and
gonna
it's
want to
the
see that. I want to
era
see that.
where he stayed at home. He
Right.
was
Yeah.
having, I don't remember what it was. He was having his own mental fit. So it's the era that
Called
he's
drug abuse.
making. What?
Right.
Called drug abuse.
Yeah.
No,
And
I think he
eventually
actually
led to
had a
I don't
schizophrenia.
mean
problem.
to laugh about it, but
I mean, he
that's pretty
became
much what happened.
schizophrenic, but yeah.
Yeah, he was having an actual problem. In the movies, the era when he was making Pet Sounds and I don't know if it was his wife or his caretaker, or maybe she became both, was ripping him off real bad. So
You're
that's,
thinking of I forget the guy's name, and I'll actually mention Wilson Phillips here
mhm,
because it's a good thing they got famous when they did,
mhm.
because that's what brought interest into Brian Wilson at that time, and that's how it got spotted that he was being ripped off.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
what Love and Mercy
So
is about.
yeah,
But Pet
and Wilson
Sounds,
Phillips is actually pretty good too.
I like Wilson Phillips.
They were all
was
right.
he in Peacemaker? No, that was Nelson.
You're thinking of Nelson, yeah.
Rose Nelson.
Um, Wilson Phillips was the daughter of Brian Wilson and kind of or Michelle Phillips.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister was into them. I
That
don't
was a
know.
girl group, you know.
Yeah. So Keith probably loved them.
I did.
Oh, they were great. They were great.
He he
I worked at an
likes
AC station at the time. We played it.
he likes way more expressive, softer, quote, girly music than I do. I was too busy thinking, fucking who
But
knows?
you know,
James
if you
Gray.
take some of those bands that were popular at that time on the AC radio or whatever, they were one of the better ones. They
Yeah.
really were.
I don't know. I was in the 90s. I was well, see my and this would be a question for Keith because I know or for Kevin, I know Keith's roots are like in pop and power pop. That's his
Hmm.
mine's in blues. Like whatever. I love blues. It goes way back. I would say that's my roots in music is blues. That's where it starts for me. Where does
Hmm.
it start for you?
Probably just general rock because I can't really pick like one specific area of rock because it's
Mm.
a little of this and a little of that, you know. First album I ever bought was Men at Work.
Nice.
So, but I was also into, you know, by the end of that decade, I was into Anthrax and I was even at that time I was still into Judas Priest and AC/DC and bands like that, you know.
I remember the first CD I ever bought, but I don't know if I remember what the first album would be because that for me would have been tapes. Now I remember being gifted probably for Christmas, Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusions 1 and 2.
Mhm.
One,
Which for a double album, that was a one good album.
Yeah.
I agree. You could
Like
take
you could
one or
make
two
one good
songs.
album out of those two albums.
Yep. You can take one or two songs off of one and most of two and
Hmm.
make one good album.
Yep.
The first CD I ever bought was Tom Petty's Greatest Hits.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Keith, do you remember the first album or whatever you ever?
So I don't remember the first album I ever bought. I remember the first cassette tape that I ever bought,
Yeah.
which was Kick by NXS.
Okay.
Great album. Great album.
Yes. Yeah.
And the first CD I ever bought was It was Bad Motorfinger,
Mm.
but it was a special edition one that also had an EP in it called Satan Oscillates My Metallic Sonatas.
Hmm.
And it was like it had like a couple covers on it, and then it had them doing Slaves and Bulldozers live.
Nice.
I
So
wonder what were the covers? Do you remember by any chance?
yeah, I mean I still have the CD, but it was Girl You Want by Devo.
Okay, interesting.
Um and it was you know the song oh man, Into the Void.
Sabbath?
Yes. But they took a letter that Chief South, I think the guy's name is, or Chief South, some Native American who was kind of like an environmentalist,
Okay.
wrote a letter, and they made that the lyrics.
Mm.
And
Rage
then
Against the Machine did that with the song is called, or the epic poem, the whatever it's called is How to Be Playing, How to Be Playing on the Jukebox.
okay,
But the band is like, I don't know, it comes out across really cool because Zach is just reading it, but the band's playing behind it. Oh man. I want to say it's somebody like Tom Wolfe or I don't know, it's not going to come to me. But there's
yeah,
a couple bands that's done stuff like that. Do you either of you know about the thing like that Kurt Cobain did with like this schizophrenic artist? Man, I don't know. My buddy Marcus has it on
Um,
vinyl. He's had it
Schizophrenic artist from the '90s that I remember became famous after Kurt Cobain died. I'm thinking of Wesley Willis, and I actually saw him live.
uh no, it's not Wesley Willis, I don't think. Kurt Cobain, um God, I don't know even how I would Google that.
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know.
Album made with another artist. Um Crap. Um okay. What? It says his William S. He made a thing with William S. Burroughs. Isn't
He
that
did, he
isn't
did.
that
William S. Burroughs is
Barnes?
like a beat poet.
Yeah, but that's didn't he write um John Carter?
Maybe.
John Carter, Edgar Rice. No, I'm dumb. Never mind.
Yeah, John Carter is written by the same guy who wrote Tarzan.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Not that was Edgar Rice Burroughs.
gotcha.
But yeah, my buddy Marcus has that on like this. I don't know if it's probably special now. It's like a yellow vinyl thing, and I remember him playing it, and it's bad.
Yeah,
But
I remember hearing that. I
a
remember
big
hearing about
swing.
it. Right, right.
I didn't realize that the guy was a beat poet. It makes sense now because as I know more what that kind of what is that called? Is it just called beat poetry? That kind of beat
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
yeah. Now that I understand that, I wonder
And
how it
and
sounds.
Burroughs was a junkie. He was like a big time junkie.
I mean, I've exp where do you land on Cobain, Kevin?
I didn't appreciate him in his time.
You did or did not?
I did not. I mean, Nirvana was okay. I didn't really appreciate them though until after he died.
I think he's a hack. I think he was a talentless, druggy hack that got
Changed
lucky.
music though.
It was
He
the
changed
band.
music. Like him or not, he changed music.
He did, absolutely. And
I mean,
Lightning in a Bottle when they were on Nirvana,
the
Nevermind.
thing is, before
On.
Nirvana, and I grew up, we had Def Leppard was huge. I
Mhm.
was never into Def Leppard, but
Oh, I like Def Leppard.
eh, take them or leave them. But you had White Snake and you had like all these hair metal bands, you know?
Mhm.
Nirvana comes along and all those hair metal bands are suddenly gone.
Yeah, killed it dead.
He killed it. So, I mean, like him or not, you got to at least give him credit for that.
Oh yeah, what they did, the way they got pushed and killed music and all that was a big deal. But
Well,
I
it
know a lot
changed
of
music, didn't
people,
kill it,
yeah.
because Nirvana came along. You also had Pearl Jam coming along
Hmm.
with them, and you
Yep.
had Soundgarden, and you had like all these other bands.
But out of all those bands, he's the least talented. Look at the other bands you're talking about there. Soundgarden, come on, we all know what
Alice in
Chris
Chains,
Cornell
you know,
turned
I
into.
love all those bands.
I have a tattoo of Lane Staley on my leg. I
Mhm.
love old Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
I can't get
See,
any new
but
Alice.
again, I never appreciated Nirvana at the time. I appreciated those other bands,
Right.
but it wasn't until later that I went back and listened to Nirvana, and I'm like, well, this wasn't really bad.
If I go back and listen to it, it's the opposite for me. I'm like, I get it. He's just saying words that rhyme with what he's playing. It's not
Hmm.
profound. It's not, to me, I know a lot of
Hmm.
people absolutely go crazy, but I thought he was a hack. If he
Hmm.
hadn't have been murdered or whatever happened there, he wouldn't be around today.
Man,
Go ahead. Other than after Nevermind, which you got
Hmm.
what? In Utero,
You had In Utero, and then
the MTV Unplugged.
which
you
was a
had
good
that,
album.
and what was that last one? Uh,
But he was, maybe it was the heroin that just it robbed him of talent because Unplugged is good.
hmm.
He sounds good. Their music choices are good. His playing's good. So maybe
Hmm.
it's the fact that he was always a real bad junkie that robbed him of his talent.
Maybe
Could
their
be.
their first album,
Bleach,
Bleach, right? So it was Bleach, Nevermind, In Utero,
um,
MTV Unplugged.
Bleach,
That last
Incesticide,
one is killing me now. I
Oh,
gotta look it up.
Incesticide.
correct.
Not
Then
Incesticide. I'm thinking of the one right before he died. The one with oh, geez, I gotta look it up.
I don't.
Sorry,
They
I'm getting
never,
old.
they never put out another album
Yeah,
after
I
that.
think In
Yeah, they
Utero was the
did.
last one.
The last one
They had
had
that
like
live album come out in the on the
radio
banks
friendly, or yeah, I think radio friendly unit shifter was on it.
Yeah, that's In Utero.
with Rate Me and Francis Farmer,
Paying
whatever.
royalty and yeah,
Francis Farmer was on it.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
an
that's In
interesting
Utero.
story. I don't remember it
Okay.
off the top of my head, but I'd have to look it up unless either you guys know it. The Francis Farmer was a real person, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was.
yeah, she like
The do you are
got
you guys familiar
revenge.
with the Dollop podcast?
Mm-mm.
They did an episode
no,
on Francis Farmer.
Yeah, I'll have to read check that out. Yeah, I don't.
yeah,
He's just one of those artists that everybody loves, and I'm just like, man, it me. I my honest opinion was he just wasn't any good. Or
I don't mythologize him, but I
that's a good way
appreciate
to
him.
put it. Yeah. I'm like that with Jim Morrison too. It's
You're
just
right.
like
That was In Utero. My bad.
yeah. All good.
Jim Morrison was one of
I
those
was
artists.
thinking there was another one right before he died. Um,
They put out like some B-sides and I mean
Yeah,
yeah,
really whatever, milked it. Do you think he was killed or you think he
I don't have the facts, so I have no way of
yeah,
knowing.
uh I've looked into I love that kind of crap, so I've looked into it way deeper than I think he was murdered. But I think there was a couple reasons he was gone bad. Once you're that deep as a junkie, you're never coming back. Lane Staley never came back,
yeah.
and I think Courtney knew it. The record label knew it, so they just killed him. And now they turned him into he's Kurt Cobain. When he was alive, it was like, yeah, people like his band and they're okay. They changed music, but they were waning. They were definitely falling apart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm weird. Don't believe them
but you
all.
know what? I think Dave Grohl came out of it and produced an even better band. So
Agree.
Yeah, Foo Fighters are pretty great.
Agree. And some those other Seattle bands were just put on the map because of Nirvana. And
mhm.
even though they were better, Soundgarden better, Alice in Chains were better, Pearl Jam, you could argue were better or not, however you want to. They went on to be.
Temple of the Dog.
I love that album.
Temple of the Dog was a great band.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the guys
It's
from
and
Mother
that's
Love
the
Bone.
real shame is that what's his name died.
Andrew Wood.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've heard Apple then.
Pardon?
You've heard Apple, I
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah.
Mother Love Bone's Apple. Keith
Mother
Moon.
Love Bone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great album.
Hmm.
Like, it's one of those things like, wow, what could have, for me, it's the opposite of Cobain. I think he would have faded off and not been much. But
Right.
Andrew Wood, it's like, these guys, well, I mean, that band went on to be.
But the thing is too, I mean, it's always what if. If
Yeah.
Andrew Wood had become famous, maybe we would have never heard of Chris Cornell and
Right.
what's his name?
Eddie
Pearl
Vedder.
Jam.
Eddie
Yeah,
Vedder.
Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, Eddie Vedder probably wouldn't have.
Well, Keith and I have talked
Because
about
I mean, they rose up because Andrew Wood was out of the picture,
are
so they
there
had to step up.
Right.
artists that you just simply, and I'm not condoning drug use, but
Mhm.
that you're not going to have without drugs. Jimi Hendrix, Andrew Wood, Kurt Cobain, Trent Reznor. There are some of these artists that can you Scott Weiland, can
Mhm.
you even get that? Well, okay, I think it's opiates. Something about,
Well, opiates are bad news. Period.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean that
whatever
you
for
get
you.
guys messed up on that, then they're just messed up.
But
Yeah.
I've brought it up before, and Kevin, I'd like your opinion about this too. It
Mhm.
seems like
I'll be right back.
there's a point in the musical drug marriage or whatever use where
Mhm.
you're at your creative peak. And I
Oh,
wonder,
certainly.
could you even get there without certain drugs?
Uh, I don't know because I was never into those drugs, so
I mean, I've done a bunch of
I,
different
I really
drugs.
can't I really
There's
can't
something,
comment because I don't have that experience. You know.
I don't know who I could reach out to, how I could get some kind of poll or whatever, but I wonder if for some reason there are certain bands that I think or thought that being on certain substances made you connect different. Like almost like being on opiates and hearing
Well, by
Alice in
definition, it makes
Chains.
you connect different. Um,
Maybe it's just
I
since
can't explain
you're
it because again, no experience. But
maybe it's just because since you're doing the mind altering chemical that
Mhm.
they are also doing, it's like a
Mhm.
wavelength thing. You're kind of tuned in, not necessarily the drug speaking to the drug, but you're in the
Right.
same like headspace. Like Kid Rock is a beer music, right?
Kid Rock is a moron. Come on.
I'm not a fan, but you can
And
have
that's not even a political statement. He's been a moron for 30 years.
that's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. That's all I was going to say. He can politically think whatever he wants. He's just
Exactly.
he's an act. He's a fucking act.
Yes.
He started out wanting to
I've
be a
never heard a
rapper.
good personal thing about him. Never.
Oh, I hear other people are like, no, he's actually super cool.
Well,
The one thing I will
Maybe
give
now.
the one song I will give him credit for is Picture, the one he did with Sheryl Crow.
I hate that song.
She's the reason it was good.
Yeah, she's okay.
She's the reason it was good.
There was a couple songs on her first album. I'm they weren't any of the popular songs, so I'm not going to remember it. There was at least one song on her first album that I really, really liked,
Mhm.
and I
yeah, I let Cheryl Crow. I've got some of her stuff.
yeah,
Mhm.
we were. I don't know. Yeah, there's just something about certain artists and chemicals that because Jimi Hendrix, do you have to be out of your mind on acid to do the things he did?
I'm gonna say no,
Right.
because was Roy Clark out of his mind?
From
Roy Clark from Hee Haw. Because if you ever listen to him, he's a freaking amazing guitarist
Yeah, he was.
and
right,
also a
but
banjo player.
did he pioneer, invent? I mean, Jimi Hendrix, like
Go watch.
revolutionary.
There was a scene in The Odd Couple, the old TV show
Uh-huh.
that Roy Clark guest appeared on, and they let him just go off, and it's freaking amazing. But yeah,
So
go on YouTube and watch Roy Clark. Just you'll get caught up for an entire night just watching Roy Clark.
Right. So he's one of those artists that,
He's really good.
right. There's a few of those guys. And to disprove my point, even though Stevie Ray Vaughan did drugs, that's
Mhm.
not his playing. His playing is just that Texas blues. And
Mhm.
he's really,
right.
oh, everybody knows. You say Stevie Ray Vaughan, and it's like, boom, one of the greatest of all time. I don't have to.
Yep, yep.
Right.
Or
I
for the
think with the
most
blues,
part,
you got to get into that headspace. You got to get into that groove, and you just got to play.
yeah,
Um,
man, I
it
love,
doesn't matter what you're on. If you're there, you're there. If you're
Right.
not, you're not.
yeah. Well,
I actually liked Robert Cray
from,
from
Oh
from
yeah,
the '80s.
Dr. Craig. Yeah,
Remember him?
from,
He was part of that whole blues scene from that era.
yeah,
was
Um,
he just solo, played with himself, kind of like
yeah, yeah. He was just solo. Yeah,
yeah,
Johnny Lee Hooker? Okay.
yeah.
There's
Did Smoking Gun, a couple others.
there's players now that are really I introduced, I don't know if Keith liked him as much. I know he liked him in passing. There's a young kid out of Texas, Braden Stewart, who's
yeah.
Mhm.
really doing some cool things, mixing, well, country. His new album, we covered his old album on here. His new
Okay.
album is also phenomenal. It's got such a good mix of that kind of swaggery blues that I like, but some of that Texas Americana. It's I
Mhm.
don't know. So there's younger kids out there that are doing things that I don't know, that you got to like just sit back and go, okay, how are you? He's like 18, 19,
Mhm.
Right, right.
sounding like that, playing like that. There's something,
Well, when I was listening to Robert Cray, I was 18, 19 years old. So if there's some kid listening to something that they like at that particular age, that's a better guitar player than me, which is just about everybody, um, they're going to incorporate it.
Yeah,
yeah,
And
yeah,
so today's 18, 19-year-old who's good at playing guitar is going to listen to something that they like that's old. And
right.
we're going to wonder how they're getting into that, but that's just, it sings to them.
Right. Yeah, yeah. They're taking like the Eagles and being like, well, I like what he's doing, but I don't necessarily like the tempo. Now, come on, you're not an Eagles fan, I take
no, I'm being silly.
I like the Eagles of death metal. They
it.
Hey man,
were good.
Really, you don't want to give the Eagles any
I do
credit at
like
all?
Mojo Nixon did a song called Don Henley Must Die.
Yeah.
So I do respect Don Henley because he got up on stage with him and sang it with him one time.
Why don't you like the
pretty
Eagles?
cool.
Just
I think it's the overplayed thing.
that's fair.
But
That's fair.
also I'm a Tom Waits fan.
Mm,
So when I hear Old 55, I'm hearing the Tom Waits version. And then when I hear the Eagles do it and it just doesn't sound right.
you can't. Tom Waits is. Uh, I'm not even a fan of his playing. It's his
His voice.
philosophy. No, I don't necessarily care for his voice. It's
Mm-hmm.
his, it's what he says. It's his philosophy. It's how he thinks.
It's beautiful music telling you horrible things.
He's
Yeah,
profound
Mm-hmm.
and just he's like another guy. I think is really profound that doesn't come across in his music is Henry Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. It's Tom Waits is one of those. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like I said, I don't like his voice or his music. It's I see him saying things and you hear how he thinks and his philosophy, and it's just like,
I'll tell you this: the one I dislike even more than the Eagles is Rod Stewart
That's fair.
Oh man.
because he also covered Tom Waits' "Downtown Train," and he also butchered the song. At least the Eagles made a hit out of it. You know, I
I mean,
mean,
they were
I
all
mean, did Rod
I
Stewart
don't.
make the
When
five
I
too?
hear the Eagles version of "Old 55," it just doesn't sound right. But I don't turn it off. I can't stand Rod Stewart doing "Downtown Train." And then when he goes on MTV and he says that Tom Waits missed the whole melody of the song, I'm like, fuck you. You know?
That's a, I get it. Like I've said this to Keith a handful of times. I'll hear something in a song and be like, I wish I could get into that song and add just this little bit of ingredient or turn
Now
up
you
this
know who
little
did
part.
that well? Mustard Plug. When they did Waiting Room, the Fugazi song,
Uh-huh.
the Fugazi song doesn't have those horns. Mustard Plug
Fugazi
added the
don't get the
horns to
credit
that.
they deserve.
And now when I hear that song, I have to hear the horns.
That makes sense. We've
Yeah.
talked about this phenomenon too, about bands that cover a song and then they're just like, it's my song now. And I don't
Yeah.
mean it like in a rude way or anything. It's just like they,
No, but when you like Johnny Cash covering Hurt,
yeah,
um, Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor even said that's Johnny Cash's song now. You
right.
know,
Man.
Yeah,
um,
there's a
uh,
band I really like, again out of Texas called Blacktop Mojo, and they
mhm.
do. I know this is going to sound like sacrilege, or whatever, but them and a smaller singer-songwriter from that area cover "Getaway Car" by Audioslave.
Okay,
Forget that original version. Forget it. It's
really,
done. I don't ever want to hear it again. This cover is that good. I love it when that happens.
Yeah.
a lot of
Well,
love's a good one. Nicolette Larson. It was a pop song from the '70s. She was a backup singer for Neil Young, and that's actually a Neil Young song.
Hmm.
But she covered it. She did it. It's basically a yacht rock song now. He did it as more of an acoustic, but
Right.
that's another one. He said that's your song now. You know?
I do. Yeah. That's a Keith was getting ready to bring one up too, I
yeah, I
think.
was gonna say the most famous one is Kids in America.
Yep.
I think I
Kim
bring this
Wilde.
up every time, but
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
Muffs covering Kids in America, that's the Muffs
Yep.
song, man.
Yep.
And
How about Brothers Johnson? Strawberry Letter 23.
I don't think I know that one.
I
Oh, that's trippy. That's a trippy song from the '70s. You got to hear that
Cool.
hmm.
one.
We
You've
sat
heard it. I it I can't really bring it up, but YouTube it. You've heard the
Okay.
song.
Okay.
It's got the real trippy solo in the middle of it.
we
Okay.
sat
But the
down.
original wasn't as trippy,
Mhm.
but it was kind of funky too. But that was by Shuggy Otis, and that's a good song too.
Yeah.
But that's a Brothers Johnson song now.
You mentioned trippy 70s song. Keith and
Mhm.
I sat down with Iron Butterfly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boy, is the rest of that album forgettable.
Yeah. There's a lot of like that era of like acid rock, I guess it would be, or but
Right.
yeah, it, when you get beyond the hits, a lot of that drops off.
Do you know I brought it up thinking it was one of the guys from Iron Butterfly, but I don't think it was. One of these 70s players, guys, was also a physicist, and he like something real weird happened with him taking off in his van, and then they found his van and they did not find him.
No, I'm
Are
pretty
you
sure we
thinking of
looked up and
Graham Parsons?
No, was it one of the guys
it
from
was
Iron
one of the
Butterfly?
guys in Iron Butterfly. We looked it up. It was one of the guys in Iron Butterfly.
Oh,
Yeah, he was
okay.
doing some weird sciencey stuff and then just whoop, disappeared.
Yeah.
Huh.
I didn't
Graham
know if they.
Parsons died on weird circumstances too, but he
Yeah.
was more he hung out with like the Eagles. He was from that scene.
Mm,
Um, Jeff Skunk Baxter became a scientist. He was in the Doobie Brothers,
mhm.
Okay.
but then he ended up being I don't know exactly what branch it was. I think he was like a nuclear physicist or something weird like that.
I keep
Bridget
waiting for this to happen to Jared Leto. Like, when are they going to admit he's a cult leader or something weird like that?
Bridget Mendler's a rocket scientist now, so
Yeah.
Well,
Then
Keith will know this too. When we were living in Ithaca, you know who else was living in Ithaca? Dexter from The Offspring, because he was going to
Yeah.
Cornell.
Yep.
thumbs down. Not an offspring guy. But I'm not a punk music guy, so obviously.
Right. Greg Gaffin.
I don't know about Keith. Keith may have run into. I don't remember ever meeting him up there.
No,
But
I never met him, but Greg Gaffin from Bad Religion taught some
yeah,
classes.
he was there too.
Yeah, he taught some classes at Cornell.
Yeah,
There was a
Huey
whole
Lewis went
weird
there when we were real little.
Yeah.
scene up in that direction because of the Bad Brains and Chuck Mosley, and like there was like a whole, I don't know even what you would call what was going on up in New York in that area with like the Bad Brains, and who else was involved in that little.
Drugs.
Yeah, you're right. Drugs and homelessness and
That's what was going on.
fighting. Fair enough. Yeah.
Bad Brains were from DC, weren't they?
They were from DC.
Okay.
Maybe I'm flipping the area then.
I mean, DC is.
DC is basically Fugazi, Bad Brains.
Yeah.
That
But I mean, as far as
Black
in relation to upstate New York,
they would play up there sometimes, I guess.
yeah.
I mean, it's not that far. It's like what, 5 hours?
Something like that, 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keith and I have talked about areas of the world that, or whatever, however you want to word that, that seem to have its own particular sound. You know, that kind of hardcore, straight edge New York thing, Seattle and their sound.
Thing is, DC's sound isn't really that. That's the DC punk sound.
Mhm.
Right.
DC's sound is actually like Charles Brown from the 70s. It's almost disco-y.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's they call it go-go.
Okay.
Go,
Didn't know that.
But that's
Anyway.
the sound of DC.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me, I guess. We're approaching 1 o'clock, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we've been going for a while.
Keith
Guys,
or Kevin, thank you.
You're gonna have fun editing this.
I was getting. We don't edit shit. We just let this stuff fly.
Yeah, we don't edit, man.
Fair enough.
We're gonna anger both
Goes
of our
out to the
fans.
world the way that it is.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do next, Keith?
I was thinking, if you're up for it, we could do The Space I'm In by the Candy Skins.
I don't have a pen in here, so text that to me.
I will indeed.
Kevin, we'll get with you about coming back. Maybe we'll do like the Mars Volta or something. But
Okay.
we'll figure it out because I enjoyed
Yeah.
having your
Yeah, it was fun.
opinions and everything. Any final thoughts on this album? I know you said, Kevin, you were gonna check
like I
out
say,
some
I'm gonna look for more of their stuff because that's interesting. I also think it's interesting they went into kind of an undead phase afterward.
Yeah.
Where they were into zombies and whatnot.
Songs.
And
Yeah, it's interesting.
being from Indianapolis, Bob and Tom were based there. And
Yeah.
they had, of course, Here Come the Mummies, who
Yeah,
would play
yeah, I
on
saw
their
them.
show a lot.
Sure.
So I wonder if that's like an Indianapolis thing, that the whole,
Not that
the
I
whole
know of.
interest in the
Mummies and
undead.
mummies and undead things. I mean, there are a lot of Raccoon City mobiles around.
Hmm.
People take like their Jeeps and stuff and put Raccoon City stickers all over them.
Yeah, but that's from Resident Evil. That's
And it's still zombies.
It's still zombie-ish, yeah.
fair
Yeah.
enough.
Maybe it's
My
a thing. I
closing-
don't know.
My closing for this album was a lyric I wrote down, and I don't know what from which song, but I think it's important, especially for Keith. The lyric is, "I'm alive despite all the bullshit."
Right on, brother.
Yes, I am. Right on.
Check out this album; it's great. Check out their other stuff. It's totally no
Yeah.
bono for me. No bono. Oh, we should have. Nope.
And while I'm on, I have to plug Slugfest 5 at Morrisdale, Pennsylvania for Asylum Pro Wrestling.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, cool.
And that'll
Yeah,
be
just
July
Anything
24th.
else? Anything else where people can check you out? Throw that shit out there too.
Well, Keith, you know our friend Paul McClemens. He's starting a new
Yeah.
promotion too.
I've heard about that.
Yep. He's going to run, I think it's August 15th. Don't quote me on that, but look
Okay.
him up.
Okay.
But he's running around Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
Cool. Cool. Good stuff.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
I'm gonna go ref for him too.
I
Right
got
on.
nothing
That's fun.
other than I'll be back here next week.
I
Fair
will be
enough.
too.
All
All
right.
right.
Night,
All
everybody.
right.
Cool. Later,
Peace out,
everybody.
guys.
And then we wait.
So, come on. All right. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Stop recording. Stop recording. Stop.